Put one song in the glories of Srila Prabhupada, so we'll sing that song. Srila Prabhupada, the Messiah of Millennium. Sab taiyar? Okay. Holy name you gave for meditation. गाइए. यहाँ आ गया. Holy name you gave for meditation. Your guidance was solid fortification. Easy to understand, clear presentation. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. We are not the body, we are eternal soul. Krishna is Supreme Lord, our heart should behold. You taught this lovely science in your books and fold. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. You give to the belly the sanctified food. Sandesh kacharis were simply wonderful. As ISKCON bullets, you give gulab jamun. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. We were in sorrows with uncontrolled mind. Your infinite forgiveness with heart so kind. Saving from the darkness the very mankind. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Preaching pure message, you were so fearless. Hippies and the world were living life so hopeless. As a solution, you give Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Drowning in the ocean of propensities to sin, addicted to the pleasures connected to the skin. Your mercy in the battle was bound to win. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. You made us realize preaching is the sense. Purity is the force to sustain and advance. Utility is the principle, makes so much sense. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. You gave Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda, super duper merciful. Vrindavan Puri and Sridham Mayapur. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. You distributed mercy to everyone. Kartal, Mridanga and harmonium. Destroying Kali Yuga's pandemonium. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. From the core of our hearts, thank you very much. Zillions of times, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Srila Prabhupada, Messiah of Millennium. Messiah of millennium, Messiah of millennium, Messiah of millennium. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada Shravan Utsav ki jai, समस्त एकत्रित वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की जय. हरे कृष्णा. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्येश्वरं. जय गुरुदेव, जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे. तो यहां पर प्रभुपाद जी गुणगान चल रहा है. सो वी आर ग्लोरीफाइंग श्रील प्रभुपाद. तो श्रील प्रभुपाद जी ग्लोरीज हैं, दे आर लाइक डायमंड. डायमंड को ऐसे देखो, येलो लाइट, ग्रीन लाइट, ब्लू लाइट, रेड लाइट, वॉयलेट लाइट. सो जहां से भी देखें, सो देयर आर डिफरेंट कलर्स, राइट. उस तरह श्रील प्रभुपाद जी कई सारे पर्सनालिटी के एस्पेक्ट्स हैं. डिवोटी केयर, मैनेजमेंट, प्रीचिंग, प्योरिटी, पर्सनल कंडक्ट, डीलिंग्स, बहुत सारे फैसेट्स हैं. सो उसी में से एक फैसेट मेरे को दिया गया है फ्रॉम द डिवोटीज इज प्रीचिंग स्पिरिट ऑफ श्रील प्रभुपाद. तो उसमें आज थोड़ा चर्चा करने का प्रयास करेंगे. ठीक है जी. एक समय डिवोटी ने पूछा श्रील प्रभुपाद जी से, श्रील प्रभुपाद व्हाट इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट, गोइंग बैक होम बैक टू गॉड हेड और प्रीचिंग कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस? तो बताइए प्रभुपाद ने क्या जवाब दिया होगा? इससे ज्यादा प्रभुपाद ने बोला द वन हु इज प्रीचिंग इज ऑलरेडी बैक टू गॉड हेड. तो इसलिए जो प्रचार कर रहा है उसको चिंता नहीं करनी, मैं जाऊंगा नहीं जाऊंगा, मैं रह गया तो ना, ले जाएंगे उसको, श्री प्रभुपाद जी ले जाएंगे. सो इसीलिए प्रचार में जोड़ना चाहिए. कभी कभी डिवोटीज दे डोंट डू प्रीचिंग, यू नो आई एम वेरी वीक, आई कांट डू प्रीचिंग, आई एम वेरी वीक. तो ऐसे प्रीचिंग करनी चाहिए नहीं करनी चाहिए? वेदर वी शुड डू प्रीचिंग और नॉट व्हेन यू आर फीलिंग वीक, करनी चाहिए. इन केस यू आर फीलिंग वीक व्हेन यू डू प्रीचिंग, सामने वाला डिवोटी होता बाद में बने, मे बी द अदर पर्सन मे बिकम डिवोटी टुमारो और डे आफ्टर टुमारो, मे बी नेक्स्ट ईयर, बट यू विल बिकम डिवोटी नाउ. तो इसलिए प्रचार अवश्य करना चाहिए. वी मस्ट डू प्रीचिंग. एक समय एक डिवोटी ने पूछा, श्री प्रभुपाद कैन अ डिसाइपल रीपे द डेट ऑफ स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर? क्या एक शिष्य अपने गुरु का ऋण चुका सकता है? तो प्रभुपाद जी ने बोला इट इज इम्पॉसिबल टू रीपे द डेट ऑफ स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर, बट बाय प्रीचिंग विगरसली one can please the spiritual master. लेकिन प्रखर रूप से प्रचार करेंगे तो गुरु को प्रसन्न कर सकते हैं, लेकिन ऋण नहीं चुका सकते. ना ऋण चुका सकते हैं, ना सर चुका सकते हैं, कुछ नहीं चुका सकते. लेकिन हाँ, गुरु को हम प्रसन्न कर सकते हैं. How? By preaching vigorously. So Prabhupada जी बहुत खुश होते. He would become very happy when devotees would bring some preaching report. ऐसा. First Srila Prabhupada in 1976 he was sitting. उनके पास एक ग्लोब था. ग्लोब ऐसे घुमा रहे थे Srila Prabhupada. ऐसे घुमाते. ब्रह्मानंद स्वामी, तमाल कृष्णा, भक्ति चारू, गोपाल कृष्णा, राधानाथ. भक्त बोले श्री प्रभुपाद, ये आप क्या कर रहे हैं? प्रभुपाद ने बोला, I have got such capable disciples that now they can conquer the world. I am so very happy. Yes. तो इसलिए ओके, हमारे बीच में श्री प्रभुपाद जी डिसाइपल भी आगे बीच में. सो वी वेलकम ऑल द सीनियर वैष्णवास हियर. श्री प्रभुपाद जी शिष्य भी हैं यहाँ पर, तो सबका हार्दिक स्वागत. वी वेरी वार्मली वेलकम यू प्रभु जी. सीक योर ब्लेसिंग्स. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. जय. So disciple cannot repay the debt of spiritual master, but by preaching vigorously one can certainly please the spiritual master. Yes. So we must preach. Prabhupada ji बोला करते थे, Srila Prabhupada used to say that fastest way of self-realization is preaching. It is the fastest way. Just like in the Ganges, in case somebody takes bath, whosoever comes in touch with Ganges would be purified. Anybody. Similarly, anybody who comes in touch with preaching would be purified. The speaker gets purified. The one who is asking questions gets purified. The one who is a listener gets purified. But they get purified in descending order. The one who gets maximum benefit is the one who is glorifying Krishna. Second beneficiary is the one who is asking questions. And third beneficiary is the one who is sitting in the class. Hari Katha. That's it. But yes, but we can please the spiritual master by vigorously preaching. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, what will happen to the followers of the Hare Krishna movement after you leave? Srila Prabhupada said they will all become hippies. Huh? If they do not preach. If they do not preach. So that's why in order to do preservation, we have to do propagation. We have preservation by propagation. So by propagation, we make other people devotee. At the same time, we also save ourselves. So that's why Srila Prabhupada used to say that. Somebody asked him, Srila Prabhupada, Swami ji, so what is ISKCON? Srila Prabhupada said, ISKCON is very simple. It is just 6 words. Chant Hare Krishna, spread Hare Krishna. This is ISKCON. Very simple. Chant Hare Krishna, spread Hare Krishna. That's it. Rest, everything will follow. But we have to focus on this. Yes. In fact, his own spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he used to say, preach to the walls, but you must preach. And Srila Prabhupada, he literally took this instruction to his heart. When he was in USA, sometimes there would be no one in the class. In fact, there is one class, Bhagavad Gita class, where he is giving class and there is no one sitting in the class. But that class got recorded. He recorded that class. And later on, the transcription of that class is there in the form of the book known as Gita Sar. So that phase, that preaching was not wasted. But yes, Srila Bhakti Maharaj said that preach. Even to the wall, you must preach. In fact, he would say, the one who is not contributing to the preaching mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a dung of a bull. The one who is not enthusiastic about preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya. Oh, what's there in preaching, man? Just chant, relax, chill out, man. Take a chill pill. For such a person, there is very special designation by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, that he is equivalent to the dung of a bull. In case somebody is not preaching, but he should be encouraging others. At least we are not able to do, at least you do. But yes, one must do that. So we have senior Vaishnavas here. We very warmly welcome them and we seek their blessings. They may kindly bless me. Yes, especially those who are from Vrindavan Dham. Yes. Hindi. I think but everyone can understand English. तो इसलिए मैं थोड़ा सा हिंदी इंग्लिश मिक्स करूँ, चलेगा? हाँ, थोड़ा मिश्रण करते हैं. ठीक है, मिश्रण करते हैं. हिंदी इंग्लिश मिक्स. ठीक है क्या? सिर्फ मूंग दाल नहीं, सिर्फ आलू भुजिया नहीं, नवरत्न मिक्स. हाँ, ठीक है, ओके, ठीक है, ओके, ऑलराइट. So Srila Prabhupada, even as a grihastha, Prabhupada ji grihastha ashram, even then he was very enthusiastic about preaching. When he was a grihastha, sometimes people respect saffron. Gerwa kapda bola tha na, people respect. Oh, he's in saffron. Gerwa kapda. White, white. But Srila Prabhupada at that time, he was in white. So he used to sit next to the speaker. And here is a saffron preacher. And then Srila Prabhupada, sometimes when he would get stuck, so Srila Prabhupada would say, "ए अब ये बोलो, ये वाला श्लोक, हाँ." So मैं क्या बोल रहा था? And then he would speak. So he would support preaching like this. Yes. And he was so much fixed up in the faith in the holy name. Like there was one god brother of Srila Prabhupada, उनके गुरु भाई थे, उनका नाम था अकिंचन कृष्णदास बाबा जी. So एक समय वो एक डिवोटी से मिले, who was sent by Bhakti Maharaj to West, प्रचार करने के लिए भेजा था यूरोपियन कंट्रीज में, but they were not successful. तो उसने पूछा, उसने बोला कि हमारे भक्ति वेदांत महाराज, they will call Srila Prabhupada as Bhakti Vedanta Maharaj. They would only call Srila Bhakti Maharaj as Prabhupada. Bhakti Vedanta Maharaj was also sent to Western countries. You were also sent to Western countries. He knew English. You knew English. He was good in Shastra. You were good in Shastra. But he was successful. But you were not successful. जानते हो क्यों? तो उस वक्त ने पूछा क्यों? तो उन्होंने बताया because he had firm faith in his spiritual master and the holy name. That's why he was successful in preaching Krishna consciousness even in Western countries. देखो वेस्टर्न कंट्री में प्रचार करना बहुत कठिन है. प्रीचिंग टू यूरोपियन एंड अमेरिकन इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. जैसे मेंढक तोलना होता है ना, मेंढक को तोल सकते हैं? एक मेंढक रखो कूद जाता है, उसको रखो ये कूद गया, कहां से तोलोगे इनको? ऐसा है प्रीचिंग करना वेस्ट में. पर प्रभुपाद जी वाज सो वेरी वेरी पावरफुल. In fact, once he was giving lecture. अब प्रभुपाद जी का क्या बंगाली एक्सेंट है, बंगाली एक्सेंट थोड़ा सा वैसे बोलते हैं. So there was one American lady. तो ना काफी जोर लगा रहे थे. What is he trying to say? तो उसकी सहेली साथ में थी, हर फ्रेंड कहती अरे छोड़ना, क्यों इतना जोर लगा रही तू, चलते हैं ना. So then she said, although I cannot understand what he's saying, हालांकि मैं नहीं समझ पा रही है क्या बोल रहे हैं, but I can feel it that what he is speaking is the topmost truth. That was his purity. Like Allen Ginsberg, किसने नाम सुना? Allen Ginsberg, LSD guru. Yes. He once told to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he said there are many things which Swamiji speaks which I don't agree to. Swamiji कई ऐसी बातें बोलते हैं मैं उनसे सहमत नहीं हूं. But when he is present before me, his presence forces me to accept what he is saying. उनकी उपस्थिति जब होती ना, मेरे को बाध्य कर देती है कि मैं मान लूं जो वो बोल रहे हैं. ये है प्रीचिंग. कि प्रभुपाद जी कन्विक्शन इतनी डीप है ना. अरे एक्चुअली प्रीचिंग इज नथिंग बट द बैटल ऑफ कन्विक्शंस. जिसकी कन्विक्शन ज्यादा होगी वो कन्विक्शन, कमजोर कन्विक्शन वाले को खा जाएगा. सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट यहां आता है, नॉट इन चार्ल्स डार्विन थ्योरी. हाँ, सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट. जिसकी कन्विक्शन ज्यादा होगी वो कमजोर कन्विक्शन वाले को खा जाएगा. श्रील प्रभुपाद हैड कन्विक्शन इन कृष्णा. American and European, they had conviction in sense gratification. But the amplitude of the conviction of Srila Prabhupada was greater. तो प्रभुपाद जी कन्विक्शन इनकी कन्विक्शन को खा गई. इनको धोती कुर्ता पहना दिया, इनको हरे कृष्णा करा दिया. फर्म कन्विक्शन है प्रभुपाद जी की. यस. सो इवन बिफोर स्टार्टिंग ISKCON, he would go and do book distribution in Delhi. और उस वक्त there is no support. And once there was heat stroke, he fell to the ground. His books were there spread all around. को किसी ने उठाया नहीं उनको. Nobody came to help him. खुद कुछ देर बाद अपने आप ही उठे, and then he got up himself and then collected his books again, started doing book distribution. What a preaching spirit. At that time he's in his 50s and 60s and he's doing that. So what a conviction he had. So preaching is about conviction. ऐसा. So एक बार ऐसा हुआ, किसी ने पूछा, रिपोर्टर ने पूछा, स्वामी जी, so how many pure devotees you have? आपकी सोसाइटी में भला कितने शुद्ध भक्त हैं? तो प्रभुपाद जी ने पूछे, भक्त से पूछा, टोटल कितने हमारे पास भक्त? तो डिवोटी ने बोला, श्रील प्रभुपाद वी हैव 3000 डिवोटीज. प्रभुपाद ने बोला, वी हैव गॉट 3000 प्योर डिवोटीज इन आवर सोसाइटी. तो किसने बोला, लेकिन सारे प्योर डिवोटी तो नहीं है अभी. प्रभुपाद ने बोला, टाइम इज सेपरेटिंग, धीरे धीरे सब प्योर हो जाएंगे. प्योर डिवोटीज हैं. वैसे प्योर डिवोटी की डेफिनेशन एज पर श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद, when somebody asked what is the definition of pure devotee, so Bhakti Maharaj ने कहा, the one who is surrendered to his guru is a pure devotee. अब यहां पर कैलकुलेशन में नहीं आ रहा उसमें लस्ट है नहीं है, एंगर है नहीं है, एनवियसनेस है नहीं है, ईगो है नहीं है. सरेंडर टू गुरु, प्योर devotee. That means he takes the words of spiritual master even greater than his temptations. the provocations. Higher than that is the words of my Guru Maharaj. That's it. That means this person is a pure devotee. एक बार किसी ने बोला, Swami ji, you are opening so many temples in America. Why are you opening temples? What is so special in your temples? We already have so many churches in America. What is so special in your temples? Prabhupada ne bola, we give prasadam. In your church, there is no prasadam. We give prasadam. तो ऐसे को पंडित जी आ गए, उन्होंने बोला, स्वामी जी और भी कई मंदिर हैं, बड़े सारे मंदिर हैं. There are many temples. Why are you opening your own temples? Already there are so many temples. प्रभुपाद ने कहा, आपके बच्चे हैं? Do you have children? कहते हैं, हाँ जी, मेरे 3 बच्चे हैं. प्रभुपाद ने कहा, गली कूचों में कई बच्चे घूम रहे हैं, तुमने अपने को पैदा कर लिया. When there are so many children loitering around, why are you having your own children? स्वामी जी, अपने बच्चे तो अपने होते हैं. So Srila Prabhupada similarly, there may be many other temples. We want to have our own ISKCON temples. Yes. In fact, once somebody asked, Swami ji, your temples, your ISKCON temples, they are not as per Vastu. We should follow Vastu Shastra. Prabhupada ji ne bola, well, our Vastu Shastra is very simple. Our Vastu Shastra is Ito Narsimha, Parto Narsimha, Yato Yami, Tato Narsimha. When Narsingh Bhagwan is here, Narsingh Bhagwan is there. Wherever I look, there is Narsingh Bhagwan. So from where will negative energy come inside? And how come positive energy go outside? Like about Radha Rasbihari temple in Juhu. Somebody says, Swami ji, your Radha Rasbihari temple is facing south. Temple should be east facing. So Prabhupada ji ne bola, see, they are Radha Rasbihari. They are dancing in Rasa Leela. And when you are dancing, sometimes you face north, sometimes you face east, sometimes you face west, sometimes south. So when they were dancing and they were facing south, we made the temple. Simple. But that shows his firm conviction. My God, amazing. That's Srila Prabhupada. Once devotees, they are invited Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, now in Hawaii, there are Alfonso mangoes. Alfonso mangoes in Hawaii, they are so delicious. But then Srila Prabhupada said, yeah, I agree that the mangoes in Hawaii may be very delicious. But preaching in Russia is even more delicious. So I'm preaching in Moscow. So that's why I'll be there. So Prabhupada ji हमेशा preaching को आगे लेके चला करते थे. और आप देखिए, actually आप देखिए ना, सनातन धर्म में preaching में revolution लेकर के आए हैं Srila Prabhupada. You know, Nelson Mandela said, I can see in ISKCON, there are people from all different kind of races. चाहे कोई black का हो या brown हो या white हो, a European, an American, an African, a Chinese or Indian or Japanese, all kinds of people. I see all of them like flowers. And they all together make a bouquet. And Swami Srila Prabhupada is offering this bouquet to God. That is most praiseworthy. So Srila Prabhupada was like that. He was so much focused on preaching. He wanted the whole world to become devotee actually. That was his plan. And that was the plan of Srila Bhakti Maharaj as well. All different kind of innovative kind of preachings was being discovered by him as well as by him. In fact, this Krishna consciousness movement, very nicely described by His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. He said, this Krishna consciousness movement, the architect of this movement is Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. The engineer of this movement is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. He is the engineer. Srila Prabhupada is the builder of this movement. अच्छा तो फिर हम लोग कौन है? Then who we are? We are the fortunate laborers. Yes, we have got such nice architect, such an amazing engineer, an absolutely fabulous builder, and we are the fortunate laborers. So we are to contribute. Yes, that's why Srila Prabhupada used to say, when you give Krishna, you get Krishna. So we are to preach vigorously. Why? Because more and more we preach, we become Krishna conscious. And Srila Prabhupada's preaching was uncompromising. When somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, you have come to America, do not preach about these 4 regulative principles, especially that 4th one. No. We love it. So please, you can say, okay, 3 regulative principles. Okay. Or you can say, okay, 4 regulative principles, you follow any 2. Nice. Srila Prabhupada said, I have not come to America to please Americans. I have come here to preach the truth. And those who are sincere, they will accept the truth. And this actually happened. So many sincere souls, they took to Krishna consciousness following 4 agreed principles. Even in China, we have 80,000 Hare Krishna devotees now. In China, where people can eat anything which is flying, which is walking, which is crawling, which is swimming, they can eat. Pandita Samadarshana. In China, in case a creature is crawling on your plate, it is non-veg. But in case it is not crawling, it is veg. In case octopus is lying there, not moving, it is veg hai. Hey, Chintu. Hey. Nahi hil raha, it is not moving, it is veg. In such a place where in constitution it is written, China is an atheistic country. 70% people are atheist in China. Baki confused lot. In such a place we have 80,000 Hare Krishna devotees by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Wow. And he would preach very vigorously. Once this happened that sometimes he would give also opportunity to his disciples to preach. So he was also there in his room, and then this disciple, he was preaching. He said, in case you are eating food which is not offered to Krishna, you are eating stool. Heavy. Organizer ने बोला यार ये तो कुछ ज़्यादा बोल दिया यार. ये तो कुछ, this is too much man. ठीक है, भोग लगाना चाहिए. We should offer food to Krishna. But to say in case you are not offering food to God, you are eating stool of a dog. Alle bhai. Organizers, they went to Srila Prabhupada. And Swamiji, your disciples sometimes way too much. You know what did he say? In case you are eating food which is not offered to Krishna, you are eating stool of a dog. Itna bhi too much. Prabhupada ne bola, aisa bola wo? Bring him. Organizer bahar gaye. Ja bete, bula rahe tere ko. Andar aaya. Prabhupada ne bola, did you say this? That in case you are not offering food to Krishna, you are eating stool of a dog? Disciple ने बोला, yes, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ने बोला, very good. And just see the humility of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ने बोला, क्या मैं, can I use this example? Can I? Wow. Heavy duty. So Srila Prabhupada was like that. He would not compromise at all. What a conviction he had. In fact, once it was a radio station. तो रेडियो में उनको श्रील प्रभुपाद जी बुलाया और प्रभुपाद जी बोला, प्रभुपाद जी ये बंदा ना बहुत स्क्रू करता है, मतलब सामने वाले की जान निकाल देता है ये. प्रभुपाद ने कहा इट्स ओके, चलता है, गोलोक वाले नहीं पड़ता है. So Srila Prabhupada went for this interview. So now this was in London. So he said, Swamiji, so you have come to London for preaching. Why don't you go to hell for preaching? You should go to hell for preaching. Prabhupada ne bola, what do you think London is? Swamiji, how can you say that London is hell? There is so much greenery in London. Prabhupada ne kaha, yes, it is green hell. अरे भाई, मतलब सोचो यॉर्कर बॉल पे छक्का पड़ जाए तो बॉलर का सारा कॉन्फिडेंस ही खत्म. प्रभुपाद ने देखा थोड़ा सा ना बेचारा सकपका गया है. प्रभुपाद ने बोला, although yet the credit goes to the great Englishmen who have established a nice civilization at such a hellish place. तो hellish तो फिर ही बोला पर उसको थोड़ा सा मलहम भी लगा दिया है. ऐसा. Once this happened that जो इंटरव्यूअर था ना उसने सोचा था स्वामी जी कुछ भी बोले I will not get convinced. He may give various reasons, various arguments, analogies, examples, but I will not get convinced. इंटरव्यू, अब इंटरव्यू चलता रहा. ओके, अब वो कन्विंस हुई ना. नो बट स्वामी जी, यू नो व्हाट, प्रभुपाद जी फिर नया एग्जांपल दें, न्यू एग्जांपल. बट यू नो व्हाट हैपेंस दैट, बट फिर प्रभुपाद जी फिर नया एग्जांपल दें. ऐसे करते करते उसने पूरा 1 घंटा निकाल दिया. 1 hour passed. Okay, all right. Anyways, the time is now up. Okay, so see you guys next week, same time. Stay tuned. Bye bye. अब lights off, camera off. प्रभुपाद जी अभी भी उसको कन्विंस कर रहे हैं. कहते हैं स्वामी जी, show is up. Show is up. Camera off. Lights off. Show is off. प्रभुपाद ने क्या बोला? But you are not convinced yet. So then he said, actually, Swamiji, when you explained me for the first time, I got convinced. But I was determined that I will not get convinced. But actually I am convinced. But just to drag the whole show for 1 hour, I was not getting convinced, but actually I am convinced. So Srila Prabhupada, what a spirit he carried for preaching. Wow. Even in some of the places where in saffron you are not allowed, even then Srila Prabhupada tried. Like in Moscow, like in Singapore, they would not allow. But still Srila Prabhupada went to such places fearlessly, keeping his life at stake, yet he went there for preaching. There is no support, yet he is preaching. And preaching doesn't mean just speaking. Srila Prabhupada's devotee care was also preaching. His temples was also preaching. Everything was preaching. He was so much into preaching. In fact, if you see the example of Gaudiya Math में अगर आप देखेंगे ना, devotees during चतुर्मास वो shaving नहीं करते, तो दाढ़ी वाड़ी बढ़ती है, तो पहचान लेते हैं हाँ आप गौड़िया मठ से. पर ISKCON में प्रभुपाद जी ने लिखा clean shave. Why? Preaching के लिए. But he did everything for preaching. Even those who are in saffron, they can wear western clothes. Why? For preaching. For preaching, he had so many things. In fact, once Giriraj Maharaj, he asked Srila Prabhupada on Ekadashi whether we should do shaving or not. Ekadashi में usually हम shaving नहीं करते. We don't shave. Prabhupada ने बोला, no, you should shave. Why have you not shaved? And Srila Prabhupada, because today is Ekadashi, so that's why I did not shave. Prabhupada ने बोला, you are a preacher. You are to meet people. Every day you should shave. Whether it is Ekadashi or non-Ekadashi, you should shave. मतलब प्रचार को लेकर के, preaching को लेकर के, he is so very conscious. Wow. So ये प्रभुपाद जी conviction है. प्रभुपाद जी के डिसाइपल थे, उनका नाम था भवानंद. तो जब दीक्षा उनकी हुई तो ऐसे यहां बैठे थे, तो प्रभुपाद जी उनको नाम दिया, योर नेम इज भवानंद दास. सबने कहा हरि बोल नाइस. तो भवानंद प्रभु ने पूछा, श्री प्रभुपाद, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ भवानंद? प्रभुपाद ने बोला, भव मीन्स मटीरियल वर्ल्ड एंड आनंद मीन्स ब्लिस. So bliss in the material world. So you are servant of the bliss in the material world. Huh? I am not servant of the bliss in spiritual world. I am servant of the bliss in the material world. So थोड़ा सा confused हो गए. प्रभुपाद जी ने बोला, in material world there is no bliss. In material world there is only one bliss. The bliss of preaching Krishna consciousness. Which means you are servant of the bliss of preaching Krishna consciousness. Wow. That was the mood of Srila Prabhupada. Actually, this bliss is not there in spiritual world. Bliss of preaching. Whom will you preach? Yashoda Maiya. Yashoda Maiya, does God really exist? And who is God? DYS. And in case you explain to your mother Yashoda that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, ये गोबर का थपेला तुम. My Krishna, God. No, Narayan is God. Krishna is my Lala, my darling. Yes. But yes, this bliss of preaching Krishna consciousness is uniquely present in the material world. So everyone should engage in preaching. Everyone. In fact, if you see the 7 purposes of ISKCON, it is preaching. Like for example, the first one is to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large and educate all people in the techniques of spiritual life in order to check the imbalance of values in life and to achieve the real unity and peace in the world. Systematically propagate spiritual knowledge. Srila Prabhupada wanted this. Like Bhakti Shastri was started even during the time of Srila Prabhupada. Although it got more structured later on by VIHE and MIHE. But during that time also, there used to be Bhakti Shastri. And at that time, Bhakti Shastri used to be for 1 year. Atma Tattva Prabhu, one of the Srila Prabhupada's disciples, he used to teach Bhakti Shastri. 1 year. Currently we have 4 months, 6 months. Earlier it used to be very detailed Bhakti Shastri. Systematically. Once in fact, Yamuna Mataji and Gurudas Prabhu, they came to Srila Prabhupada. They said, Srila Prabhupada, we want to preach to devotees. प्रभुपाद जी ने बोला, तुम सारी सेवाएं छोड़ दो. You just leave all other services. You just do this. Preach to devotees. Teach them the science of bhakti. They should learn. Not that we bring people in Krishna consciousness and then leave them. And then it becomes a pipeline. They leave, more people come, and they leave, this is happening. What kind of preaching is that? Although Srila Prabhupada used to say, In case somebody leaves Krishna consciousness, do not feel astonished. Somebody stays in Krishna consciousness, feel astonished. अरे तू टिक गया, ये भक्ति में टिक गया. How come? Because माया की हॉकी ऐसी है. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Maya is very powerful. But yes, in order to keep the devotees in the movement, it is very important that we should systematically educate the devotees. Devotees. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita, like we see that there is one verse where it is mentioned that one should not give this science to those who are not austere, who are not faithful. There are qualities mentioned. Those who are not devotees, one should not give. So a devotee ne pucha Prabhupada, but Prabhupada, we give Bhagavad Gita to everyone. Even those who are drunkard, we give. तो प्रभुपाद जी ने बोला, because devotee of Krishna is more merciful than Krishna by the will of Krishna. So even though somebody is not qualified, still mercy goes. But yes, systematically spiritual education dena. That was the mood of Srila Prabhupada. This is what he wanted. Second one, to propagate a consciousness of Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj. As it is revealed in great scriptures of India, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, to propagate a consciousness of Krishna. एक व्यक्ति बोला प्रभुपाद जी को, स्वामी जी, you are saying books, 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 books. What do you want people to become? Bookworms? क्या बन जाए लोग? किताबी कीड़े बन जाए क्या? प्रभुपाद जी ने बोला, in case they do not read our books, in next life they'll become stool worms. So which is better, to become bookworm or to become stool worm? Yeah, Swami ji, bookworm अच्छा है. This is good. Yeah, nice. But propagating Bhagavad Gita, in fact, Srila Prabhupada used to have 3 days in a week Bhagavad Gita classes. उस वक्त आने वाले कौन? Hippies. समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है, they understanding, not understanding, but still he would preach to them. So propagating the consciousness of God. Somebody asked, स्वामी जी क्यों रखा है आपने ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, God consciousness रखते हैं. Keep it generic, so that everyone can come. God, yeah. Srila Prabhupada said, no, I have to emphasize that yes, Krishna is God. Firm conviction. Firm conviction. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, Swamiji, say your Krishna lifted Govardhan. Can God make a stone which he cannot lift? Okay, very tricky question. अगर इसका जवाब दे yes, God can make a stone which he cannot lift. Now what kind of God is he? He cannot lift a stone. In case we say, well, God cannot make such a stone which he cannot lift. Then what kind of God is he? He can't make a stone. So yes bolo, no bolo. दोनों फंसे. प्रभुपाद जी ने बोला, yes, Krishna can make a stone which he cannot lift. But then Balram can lift. Balram is not different from Krishna. And then Balram can give it to Krishna. And then Krishna can also lift. So who can present Krishna as God with such firm conviction? Srila Prabhupada could do that. Such a firm conviction. Third, we see, to bring the members of society together with each other nearer to Krishna. The to Krishna. That was the consciousness which he had for everyone. Like once there was one old person, he was going to casino. And after doing something in casino, he was stepping out of casino. And seeing that, Srila Prabhupada had tears in his eyes. So devotee ne pucha, Srila Prabhupada, why are you weeping? Prabhupada ne bola, this soul who is part and parcel of Krishna still is hoping that without Krishna, I can be happy. Going to casino. So seeing his pitiable condition, that's why I am having tears in my eyes. Aisa. There was one lady, she was convinced, whatever, they may try to make me devotee, I will not become devotee. I will not. Acha, okay. Even devotees brought that lady to Panchatattva, Mayapur Dham. She had darshan. Oh, what a darshan of Panchatattva. No, not to become devotee. No. So Srila Prabhupada, coincidentally, he was also there in Mayapur Dham. And the devotees brought this lady to Srila Prabhupada. And then this lady was there. So Srila Prabhupada said, okay, so how was your experience? Yeah, Swamiji, yeah, it's good, it's okay, yeah, nice. Prabhupada ne kaha, we would like to have some sweets. We have some very special Mahaprasad sweet of Radha Madhav. Panchatattva, okay. And then Panchatattva's very special Rasagulla Prasad was brought. And then she was given Mahaprasad. उसने रसगुल्ला खाया, अरे भाई रसगुल्ला हो गई वो तो. Swami ji, what is this? Hey, did you like this? Yeah, of course, this is awesome. Bring more rasgulla Mahaprasad. She was given more rasgulla. फिर और खिलाया उसको, और लेकर के आओ, bring more. और रसगुल्ले खाए जाओ. अरे वाह. Prabhupada ने कहा, did you like this? कहते Swami ji, this is really awesome. Prabhupada ने बोला, chanting Hare Krishna is even sweeter than these rasgulla. Will you chant Hare Krishna? And then she said, yes, Swamiji, I will chant Hare Krishna. So he knew that how to present philosophy in a way that everyone gets convinced. Like Indians would get convinced by anything which is from America. So he made bhakti made in USA. Although from India it went to USA. But उसपे stamp लगी, made in USA. हो गया. Just like we have bakri, but who eats bakri in India? like bakri क्या होती है? बाघ बकरी चाय तो पी हुई हमने, लेकिन bakri है. But same bakri was taken by the Spanish people to Spain. और वो बन गई वहां पर पिज्जा. लेकिन वहां से जब अमेरिकन्स जब लेकर गए उसको अमेरिका, अब बन गया पापा जोन्स पिज्जा. आपको पिज्जा बोले, पिज्जा खाया है? हाँ खाया है. पिज्जा पिज्जा, अरे पिज्जा नहीं बोलते, बोलते हैं पिज्जा. इट्स एन ऑफेंस टू पिज्जा टू से पिज्जा खाया. ऐसे बोलते पिज्जा. नो ऑफेंस टू पिज्जा. बट सेम बाकरी became pizza. But bakri, nobody knows. कहते कोई बात नहीं. Prabhupada ने बोला, okay, I'll make pizza of bhakti. Everyone will take. Now whole world is taking Krishna consciousness. He knew that, how to connect them. To teach and encourage the Sankirtan movement, congregational chanting of the holy name of God, as revealed in the teachings of Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada would give chance to his disciples to speak. So once the disciple was speaking and he said, so Krishna resides in his holy name. So Srila Prabhupada was also sitting. He said, which part of the holy name? In K, in R, in I, where Krishna resides inside the holy name. And he was stuck. Then Srila Prabhupada said, not that Krishna resides inside the holy name. Krishna and holy name, non-different. That was his conviction. In fact, he would say that instead of having so many meetings, in the meetings so many resolutions and revolutions and dissolutions, and at the end no solution, they should be chanting of Hare Krishna. That's it. Firm conviction. Like when Giriraj Maharaj, when he came to Srila Prabhupada, he was there as president of ISKCON Juhu. But how to manage such a big temple? Such a big temple. Heaven on earth project. How to manage? So Srila Prabhupada had so he gave one idea. Once in a week, 24-hour Harinam Sankirtan. Now in the beginning, Giriraj Maharaj was really struggling managing such a big project, Juhu project. So then he recalled, Srila Prabhupada said, once in a week, there should be Harinam Sankirtan, 24-hour Harinam Sankirtan. Okay, nice, okay. So he started every Sunday, 24-hour Harinam Sankirtan. So anybody would come with a complaint. Giriraj Swami, I've got one complaint. Yeah, what's your complaint? Oh, I see. Okay. Can I see you on Monday? Yeah, sure. Okay, on Sunday, we have Harinam. Please do come for Harinam Sankirtan. And then I'll see you on Monday, huh? Okay. Jai Ho. Hare Krishna. So many of the devotees who would come on Sunday, attending Harinam Sankirtan, would not turn up on Monday. Because on Sunday, your mind is cleansed. Because mostly problems are here only. Sometimes problems are outside, but many of the problems are here only. So for 14 years, 1978 till 1992, 14 years, Giriraj Maharaj managed such a big project with simple funda. Can I see you on Monday? Excuse me, on Sunday, we have Harinam Sankirtan. So those who would come on Sunday would not come on Monday. Because Harinam Sankirtan cleanses the heart. Chetodarpar Marjanam. Simple. That was his firm conviction in the holy name. He is going to Thompson Square Park among the hippies chanting Hare Krishna shows his firm conviction. Even though these people do not know anything about Krishna, but this Hare Krishna will purify them. That was his firm conviction in chanting Hare Krishna. So he would say one should chant at least 16 rounds on the beads, an infinite number of rounds of the beads. And Srila Prabhupada gave us 16 rounds, but he himself chanted 64 rounds. Because from his Guru Maharaj, he received 64 rounds. And he gave to us 16 rounds. But he was chanting 64 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. Wow, what a conviction. What a conviction. In fact, when he was about to start Krishna conscious movement, he had yet not started. He was a Grihastha. He had his son and he was in Advaita Bhavan in Shantipur. And he was chanting Hare Krishna and shedding tears. So Pujari came. Who are you? Aap kaun hai? Unhone bataya, my name is Abhay Charanaravindra Das. I am disciple of His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. My Guru Maharaj has given me an order to go to the Western countries and preach. But I see myself so powerless, so potency-less. How can I preach to Americans? But I have come to Shantipur to pray to Advaita Acharya. That if he blesses me, then somehow my words can become conducive for their understanding. And that's why I'm chanting Hare Krishna, praying to Advaita Acharya. And after many years, in 70s, there was one American boy in Saffron, Brahmachari, in Shantipur, having darshan of Advaita Acharya. Same Pujari asked him, hey, who are you? How come you are a Western body? Brahmachari? Shaven head? Who are you? He said, I am from ISKCON. I am disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Who is that? He showed the picture. And that Pujari was in tears. कहते अरे यही तो आया करते थे यहाँ पर. He used to come here and weep and chant Hare Krishna. And Advaita Acharya, please give me strength. But that was him. So much attachment to the holy name. Once he was doing Harinam Sankirtan, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then he went into ecstasy. और सामने बैठे हजारों लोग, thousands of people. And Srila Prabhupada is stunned. And body is shivering, tears. Organizers ने कहा अब क्या करें भाई, प्रभुपाद जी तो एक्सटेसी में आ गए, प्रोग्राम तो फ्लॉप हो जाएगा, तो डिस्टर्ब करें नहीं, एक्सटेसी में है भाई, लेकिन प्रोग्राम भी फ्लॉप नहीं होने, अब क्या करें, करें ना करें, डिस्टर्ब करें, करें ना करें. So then one of the sannyasis, he got a mridanga and started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then Srila Prabhupada came to external consciousness. Oh, yeah. So कई devotees से they became angry on that sannyasi. कहते क्या यार भाई, प्रभुपाद जी एक्सटेसी में है, तुमको ये ढोल मजीरा बजाना जरूरी है? ये लेकिन प्रोग्राम भी तो फ्लॉप ना हो जाए, भी तो दिक्कत है, क्या किया जाए? So then Srila Prabhupada was asked, Srila Prabhupada, because you are attached to the holy name, so it can happen in future as well that while chanting Hare Krishna, you can get into ecstasy. So what should we do? Like this sannyasi, he started singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So what should we do? And the Srila Prabhupada said he did the right thing by chanting Hare Krishna. This is best. So I was in Hare Krishna and here is also Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna took me inside and Hare Krishna took me outside. But it is all Hare Krishna. In fact, Srila Prabhupada, when he was in Los Angeles, he stayed there for 1 month in Los Angeles. And then he planned to come to India. And devotees were not mentally ready. कि Prabhupada ji India चले जाएंगे. हमें तो लगा Prabhupada ji is now eternally with us. And then Srila Prabhupada said, you chant Hare Krishna here. I will chant Hare Krishna there. And this divine sound of Hare Krishna Mahamantra would envelop the entire globe. And in that rope of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we would be tied together. And in this way, we will be together by chanting Hare Krishna. You are chanting Hare Krishna here, I am chanting Hare Krishna there. What a conviction. Yes. In fact, for most of the problems, what's the solution? Chant Hare Krishna, everything will be all right. Chant Hare Krishna, everything will be all right. Because the one who actually chants Hare Krishna, everything actually becomes all right. But those who are ritualistically chanting Hare Krishna, then things may take time to become all right. Like nowadays, there is a very common chanting. Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Hare. Kitte 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Hare. राम राम हरे 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 हरे, राम 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 हरे 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 हरे। 2 घंटे हो ही गए, 2 hours, so 16 rounds done. With this kind of chanting, even for many hundreds of lifetimes, even if we chant, nothing will happen. So there are some of the chanting Hare Krishna which we have invented, which was not given to us by Srila Prabhupada. But Srila Prabhupada, he wanted this, that we should become firmly attached to chanting Hare Krishna. In fact, he said, I have to devise so many services. Why? Because you don't have taste for chanting Hare Krishna. Originally, he wanted that we should chant 64 rounds. But हमने कहा 64. Okay. 32. उससे भी okay, all right. 16 rounds minimum. Chanting at least, very important, at least 16 rounds, and do preaching. Do some practical seva also. So Srila Prabhupada used to say, I have to invent so many different kind of services. Why? Because you don't have taste for chanting Hare Krishna. You come say, Hare Krishna, kuch to kar lo. Kuch to karo. In fact, in his purports, many times you will see he would not write by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He writes by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Especially the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Dhyan Yoga chapter. Almost so many, I would say maybe 50% purports are complete Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He would not say by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. By chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Firm conviction. So chanting of Hare Krishna, he wanted that we should have that. So to teach and encourage the Sankirtan movement and congregational chanting of holy name of God as revealed in teachings of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Again he said to bring the members closer to for the purpose of teaching a simpler, more natural way of life. Simple living, high thinking. Not simply living, hardly thinking. Nahin. Simple living, high thinking. Because he knew that this city culture, इसमें हमारी सीटी बजेगी for sure. That's why he wanted that we should go to simpler way of life. In fact, after World War III, we will be blessed with simpler way of life. And World War III maybe in 2031, 32. पास में है. कितने साल? अभी कितना 2024 ना? 7 साल. तब तक हम साथ उसके बाद World War III. That's it. World War III के बाद क्या होगा? सब कुछ plain. Even software engineer who is working in a skyscraper building कहता है तेरा सर्वर, तेरा लैपटॉप वो तो गया, अब क्या करना है? हाँ यार अब तो क्या करेंगे यार, हम हरे कृष्णा ही करेंगे अब. So simpler way of life. I know so many hours we have grihastha devotees. Like in cities we have grihastha devotees. They work for 12 hours. थके हारे, tired, then they return home and हरे राम ये 16 हो गई होंगी मोटा 12 हो गई. I met one devotee, he was in Vrindavan Dham. कहता प्रभु जी I am here for now 3-4 days. मैं क्यों, किसके लिए? कहता अपनी पेंडिंग राउंड्स पूरे करने के लिए. मैंने कितने पेंडिंग राउंड्स? कहता है only 137 rounds. So on Sunday he had come to Vrindavan Dham. ताकि पेंडिंग वाला बचा हुआ है, आज 4 बचा, 5 बचा, 6 बचा, करते करते 137 rounds pending. One devotee whom Indra Prabhu met, and he asked, why have you come to Vrindavan Dham? He said, Prabhuji, actually I have got my pending rounds. Pending, ये कोई नया चीज है देखो. Pending rounds, अद्भुत. Then Indra Prabhu said something very heavy. He said, you may cover your pending rounds by chanting those rounds. But the offense which you have done to the lotus feet of your Guru by breaking the promise of not chanting your 16 rounds, you will not be able to overcome that offense. Very heavy. So 16 mala karna chahiye. And that's what Srila Prabhupada said, in case you are not chanting your 16 rounds, you are in a diseased condition of spiritual life. We must chant our 16 rounds. And no procrastination. Yeah, karta hu. Abhi karta hai bas. 1 घंटे बाद. After 1 hour. To 2 hours. Maybe in the evening I'll do. In the evening. In a night time. So 11 o'clock he's completing his 16 rounds. 12 midnight. First priority should be given to chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. एक भक्त था, उसका बीड बैग ऐसे टंगा हुआ था. प्रभुपाद ने कहा, whose bead bag is crying? ऐसा. फिर भक्त से पूछा, have you chanted your 16 rounds? He said, yes, Srila Prabhupada, I have chanted my 16 rounds. Prabhupada ne kaha, oh, self-realized for the day. But self-realized for the day only. Tomorrow again 16 rounds, so that you are self-realized that day also. So every day we should be chanting our 16 rounds. First priority should be given to chanting of 16 rounds. Aisa. So no pending round. There is no concept. Mahaprabhu has not given this. Pending round karite bhai. Is there any payar in Chaitanya Charitamrita? No. So no pending round. So we should be focused on that. So living a natural and simpler way of life. That's very important. And then he said, with views towards achieving aforementioned purposes to publish and distribute periodicals, magazines, books and other writings. Again, this is preaching. He would say those who are doing book distribution, Lord Chaitanya will catch hold onto their shikha and take them back home, back to Godhead. All those who are doing book distribution. Once he said, I will personally take them back home, back to Godhead. Anyone who is distributing books. Book distribution is so very important. In fact, there was one lady, she had done her PhD in atheism. Nirishwarvad. And she was about to submit her PhD thesis in the month of March. That I am done with my PhD. PhD means permanent head damage. PhD. Okay. So in the month of December, we have book distribution. So one devotee gave her Bhagavad Gita, and she said, yeah, maybe something will add on to my thesis. So she took Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. She read only 3 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. And then she took in her left hand her thesis, in right hand the lighter, and there was a divine union. All turned into ashes just by reading 3 chapters of Bhagavad Gita as it is. And then overnight she read complete Bhagavad Gita. And now she is initiated disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Can you imagine so much of transformation can happen by these books? Very, very powerful books. So that's why we should, yen ken prakare, and we should distribute books. Although we know that currently the reading aptitude has really gone down because of this demon, the mobile phone. Although somebody can say, Prabhuji, but your phone is brahmachari. You know? No, they're not brahmachari, this is mithyachari. You know? Like Ravan outside, saffron. Inside, Ravan. Like that. So because of this internet revolution, we see that that even devotees are not reading Srila Prabhupada's books. Once a devotee was having books still here, and then Srila Prabhupada took one book. It was Science of Self-Realization. And Srila Prabhupada said, what is given in this book? And devotee said, actually Srila Prabhupada, I distribute, but I don't get time to read. Prabhupada ji ne bola, I have written these books first for the devotees to read, for them to study these books, then to distribute. But first we are to study these books. In case we don't study these books, we are insulting Srila Prabhupada. Yes. There was one devotee, he was sent to South India for preaching. And over there are many Mayavadis, and they are very scholarly. They are very expert in Upanishads, Sanskrit. And this devotee was smashed in argument. So he was very ashamed. Bada sharmsar ho gaya, अरे यार, बड़ी बेइज्जती हुई. वापस आया, उदास बैठा था. He was very sad. तो Prabhupada ji ne bola, why are you looking sad? He said, Srila Prabhupada, you sent me to South India for preaching, but these Mayavadis defeated me. तो Prabhupada ji ne bola, were you reading my books or not? No. Prabhupada ji ne kaha, that's why you got defeated. And then for next 4 years, this devotee read Srila Prabhupada's books very thoroughly. And then again went back to South India, and in this time he was victorious. So devotees also, they are able to preach vigorously, effectively. They are victorious in their preaching efforts when they read Srila Prabhupada's books. So we should all read. Great leaders are great readers. In case readers are not reading books, that's very sad. Like in ILS, there was one survey which was being done of the leaders. How many devotees have read Srila Prabhupada's books? All the books. Only 10% devotees had read all the books of Srila Prabhupada, which is very sad. We should read. In case we are not reading, we are missing something very serious. Very, very serious. So, Srila Prabhupada has given his devotional ecstasies in his purports. He would say, my purports are my devotional ecstasies. So, we should connect to devotional ecstasy of Srila Prabhupada by reading his books. In case we are not reading, we are only reading WhatsApp messages, Facebook messages, jokes, having fun, YouTube shorts, Instagram reels, and ignoring the devotional ecstasies which are deeply embedded in the purports of Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta purports. So, we are bluffing our own selves. कहते हैं ना माया मिली ना राम, ना माया मिली ना राम. Neither we get Maya nor we get Krishna. We have left everything. We have come to Krishna consciousness, so we have left Maya. So we are not able to enjoy Maya. But we are not practicing nicely as well. So that means we will not get Krishna. So we are stuck in between. Right? So we should not that. We should not do that. So in order to preach vigorously, we should study Srila Prabhupada's books. That's very, very important. Like Giriraj Maharaj, he was in South India. He used to make life members. And there was one life member. And this person, he was not really life member. He challenged Giriraj Maharaj. So he was informed, Giriraj ji, since you have come to South India, don't preach against Mayavad. There are many Mayavadis here in South India. Don't do that. You want to make life members, you can do that. But don't do preaching against Mayavad. So Giriraj Maharaj had written a letter to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, here everyone is saying that I should not preach against Mayavad. What should I do? And meanwhile, he was making life members, preaching and all that. So this person was so offensively presenting Mayavad philosophy that Giriraj Maharaj had to come to his true colors. And then Giriraj Maharaj practically ripped apart each and every argument of this person. But astonishingly, this person was smiling. After getting defeated, smiling. And then he held the hand of Giriraj Maharaj and took him inside. And there were deities of Radha Krishna there. He was speaking Mayavad? How come he has deities of Radha Krishna? He said, actually, I was testing you. Whether you can preach in South India or not. But I can see that yes, you can. So he was successful. Why? Because he was so thorough. Giriraj Maharaj was so pakka in Srila Prabhupada's books that in case somebody asks any question, he can open the purport. Here is your answer. Read. Here is your answer. That pakka. So we should also study Srila Prabhupada's books with great conviction, with lot of love. Because he has given his books with love. So we should also accept his love submissively and lovingly. We should do that. And then we can preach vigorously, at the same time feel very satisfied. Because Hari Katha is non-different from Srimati Radharani. Just like Harinam is non-different from Krishna. Krishna's name and Krishna are non-different. Similarly, Hari Katha and Srimati Radharani, non-different. So that's why, what is there in the books of Srila Prabhupada? It is mercy of Srimati Radharani. And then we can get Krishna by the mercy of Srimati Radharani. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So maybe we can ask senior Vaishnavas if they want to add something, they want to speak something, they can kindly bless us. Or in case somebody has any question, so you can. Aji puche, yes. Hare Krishna. Mercy.
When we hear from Srila Prabhupada, we can think that they were associated with Prabhupada, so they have lot of love for Prabhupada and Acharya.
Yeah.
Similarly, I see in you that you have lot of love for Prabhupada and Acharya and other spiritual masters. How can we also develop that?
See, love is contagious. You love those who love Srila Prabhupada, they will also give their love which they have in their heart to you. I don't have love, actually. I just listen from those devotees who have love. Like here we have so many great Vaishnavas. Listening from them, we get some sprinkle of the love which they have in their heart. And that's why we are able to say something. Like many of the anecdotes which I shared came from His Holiness Satsuru Maharaj, from Prabhupada Nectar, from Transcendental Diary by Harishwari Prabhuji. They have love for Srila Prabhupada. Shrutakirti Prabhu's books. What's the difficulty? So they have love. Like Shrutakirti Prabhu says, I don't know about Srimad Bhagavatam. What I know about person Bhagavat, Srila Prabhupada. And he is giving Srila Prabhupada to the whole world, Shrutakirti Prabhuji. So we are to just plug in to the mercy of those who are having love for Srila Prabhupada. And then we get that love. Like if you listen to His Holiness Bhakti Brihad Bhagavat Maharaj, he is Giriraj Maharaj's disciple. But if you listen to him, you will feel maybe he is disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Why? Because he is genuinely in love with Srila Prabhupada. So many anecdotes, pastimes of Srila Prabhupada. Wow. So we should connect to those. That's the thing. Yeah. Listen from them. Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
I just had one comment.
Sure, Prabhuji, please.
It's my great fortune to be able to preach in the Delhi NCR area. And I met three different people, that I've become a devotee of listening to a Motor Prabhupada.
Mercy, mercy, mercy. All mercy. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, yes. Hare Krishna, pranam.
जैसा आपने कहा पेंडिंग ग्राउंड जैसा कुछ नहीं
हाँ, पेंडिंग ग्राउंड.
लेकिन दीक्षा के बाद उसके लाइफ में कभी तो ऐसा कोई मोमेंट आ सकता है कोई मेडिकल इमरजेंसी हो गई तो उस कंडीशन में भी क्या अपराध करेगा अगर वो
No, in case it's a medical emergency, that's another thing. But out of laziness, procrastination, today I'm so tired, yaar. Maybe tomorrow. Today 12 rounds, tomorrow 20. Okay, all right. We can't do that. So whenever you are having some rounds left, do not enter your bedroom. क्योंकि बेडरूम में ना बेड बुलाता है, आजा 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 मेरे पे सो जा, आजा आजा आजा. चलो. So go outside, complete your rounds, then you enter your bedroom. Otherwise, bed is calling. Now, in case you are having some medical thing, that's another thing. In case you are fainted, how can you chant? So once you come back to consciousness, then you chant. Like that. Okay. हाँ जी, और कहाँ पहुँचा माइक? Okay, Mataji, yes, Mataji, yes. We should also take question of Mataji's. नहीं तो court case. हाँ, okay, just joking. हाँ, yes, हाँ, कहाँ पहुँचा माइक?
Thank you for an enthralling lecture, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji.
Very grateful. I have a question, which, as you rightly said, Mataji's, can ask a question. So I'm asking this question. India, as we heard in the morning from Sagar Prabhu, is Tapabhumi, Punya Bhumi.
Yes.
We heard all these great talks. But today in India, we see horrific atrocities against women.
Yes.
So, what are your thoughts about this? And how we can change this culture of violence against women?
Okay, violence against women is happening. There are various reasons why there is violence against women. First reason is pornography. Because pornography, it programs the mind of a person to see the woman as an object. So that's one reason. Second, in our educational textbooks, there are no examples, there is no teaching, no education to respect women. They are glamorized so much. Third is our Bollywood. Item numbers where women are very sparsely dressed and then they are singing songs. So that also objectifies women. That's also another reason. And also from parents also, they don't educate children to respect the opposite gender. And somewhere there is propaganda that, in case she is a homemaker, then she is such a behenji. Oh, you're such a behenji. Oh, she is wearing sari. She is taking care of kids. Behenji. Oh, she is such a behenji. No, it's a kind of narrative being created. It's all about narrative. So media creates such narrative. That in case a lady is properly covered, she is very chaste to her husband. Such a behenji. So then ladies, sometimes they get influenced by this. So then they glamorize themselves. But result is that they get objectified and then they get exploited. So we should have proper education system. That how women should see men and how men should see women. There is no education. On the name of sex education, they teach how to have sex, not how to control the senses. So sex education is absolutely bogus in India. So that's why we see that all of these atrocities against women, they are happening. But Srila Prabhupada had a lot of respect for women. When somebody asks, what's the position of women in Indian culture? So Srila Prabhupada said, in God's ministry, in Krishna's ministry, who has education ministry? So one lady said, Saraswati. Okay, who has finance ministry? Lakshmi. Who has defense ministry? Durga. Who has home ministry? Srimati Radharani. Srila Prabhupada said, all important ministries are given to the ladies. So Srila Prabhupada, he really he took care of the ladies so much. One of the lady who was pregnant, Srila Prabhupada said, "You do not give me the milk, the glass of milk. She deserves a glass of milk. She is pregnant. She needs more calcium." And even after her pregnancy is over, she has given birth to a child. Srila Prabhupada would call the temple president, "Is my disciple, is she getting glass of milk or not?" That's the kind of loving care he had. Like Yamuna Mataji, when she was asked, she brought some rice. Srila Prabhupada was in train. Srila Prabhupada said, "Yamuna, rice means hot rice. Now, if rice is cooked again, that is poisonous." So then Yamuna Mataji, she went to the pantry. She said, "I want to cook for my Guru Maharaj." Pantry wala said, "Excuse me, outsiders cannot cook." She said, "I will jump from this train if you will not allow me to cook." And then she cleansed all the utensils very thoroughly. And then she made nice hot rice for Srila Prabhupada. And when she brought hot rice for Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada said, "Yamuna, hot rice in a running train? I must say, you are my goddess of fortune." So that's the kind of love he had. Yes. For the ladies. Yes. Okay, next. Okay, next. Yes. Hare Krishna. Yes. हाँ माता जी पूछिए जी. हाँ हिंदी बोलिए, हम भी हिंदी बोलेंगे. चला आपका सवाल. यस बोला. हाँ जी ठीक है. ओके. ना प्रणाम जी.
काफी सारी चीजें मुझे समझ में तो नहीं, पर जहाँ तक आपका पूरा फोकस प्रचार के ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा था.
हाँ.
तो प्रभु जी जैसे प्रभुपाद जी के बारे में जहाँ तक पढ़ा सुना, प्रभुपाद जी ने अभी अपने जीवन में कभी हार नहीं मानी. बहुत अच्छे से प्रचार किया विदेश में जाकर. जैसे हाउस प्रोग्राम करते गाँव में या फिर कोई ऑनलाइन क्लास देते, कभी कभी 15 के जगह 5 आ जाते, या फिर हाउस प्रोग्राम में घर घर जाके बुलाते हैं कि आप आओ हमारे ये प्रोग्राम में. तो उसमें से कुछ आते नहीं आते, फिर सेकंड टाइम प्रभु जी बहुत यूनिवर्सिटी की भावना आती है, अरे तो आते ही नहीं है, जाने का जाके क्या करेगा. तो ऐसे आपको कैसे मोटिवेट?
ओके, समटाइम्स हम प्रीचिंग के लिए जाते हैं, लोग आते ही नहीं. पीपल डू नॉट कम. व्हाट टू डू? जहां शहद होगा मक्खियां अपने आप आएंगी. यानी शहद की कमी है तो मक्खियां नहीं आ रही हैं. When there is honey, bees automatically come. So we are to bring the honey of Krishna consciousness in our own character, in our own sadhana, in the way we present Krishna consciousness. People will come. Somewhere maybe we are not presenting it nicely. There is saying there are no bad students. They are just bad teachers. Bad student कुछ नहीं होता. Bad teacher होता है. पढ़ाना क्या है ये तो लोग जानते हैं, पर पढ़ाना कैसे है ये नहीं जानते. What to teach, people know, but how to teach, people do not know, and that's why people do not get connected. So there are 3 C's of preaching: connect, convey, convince. But पहला क्या है? Connect. Connect नहीं करेंगे तो convey करने में बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. Lot of hard work in convey, क्योंकि connect हुआ ही नहीं. So पहले connect, then convey, then convince. पर पहला क्या है? Connect. तो बेसिकली इट इज संबंध, अभिदय, प्रयोजन. सो कनेक्ट, कन्वे, कन्विंस. तो हमें कनेक्ट पे काम करना है. हाउ टू कनेक्ट. उसके बाद बाकी फिर हो जाएगा. संबंध हो जाएगा ना, अभिदय प्रयोजन में ज्यादा मेहनत नहीं करनी पड़ेगी. सबसे जरूरी क्या है? संबंध जग जाए हमारा. राइट? तो संबंध, हाउ टू मेक कनेक्शन प्रचार के समय, वो देखना चाहिए. ठीक है जी. हाँ जी. और कहाँ पहुंचा माइक? ओके, समय हो गया पूरा. ओके, ओ सॉरी. ओ देवी शक्ति माता जी, हरे कृष्ण माता जी, जय हो. देवी शक्ति माता जी की जय. So they are people who are Brajvasis. Like there are people who take birth in Braj and then they go to Delhi. जैसे हम मथुरा से है, ब्रजवासी. There are people who take birth in Delhi but they take Omax apartment in Vrindavan. इसे हो गए ब्रजवासी. But there are very special Brajvasis whose heart is Vrindavan, and Devi Shakti Mataji is that Brajvasi. Yes. So I'll not let her wait. So thank you all very much. बड़ा धन्यवाद सभी भक्तों का. Having Srila Prabhupada's disciples, sannyasis, Maharaj, Gurujan, they are sitting here, and because of their blessings, I was able to speak something. So energy and mercy was coming from this side. That's it. And otherwise, how can I glorify Srila Prabhupada? I don't have any potency. But yes, their mercy was allowing me to speak. So sincere gratitude to all the senior Vaishnavas who blessed me to glorify Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Shravan Utsav ki jai. Our Grace Devi Shakti Mata ji ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai Samogila Prabhuji ki. Thank you very much, Jai Samogila Prabhu, for coming here and enlightening everyone about the importance of chanting of holy name, reading Srila Prabhupada's books. Thank you very much. Now we request Our Grace Devi Shakti Mataji to please come here. Our Grace Devi Shakti Mataji is a very, very senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada. She came in contact with ISKCON in 1970 at the age of 18 years, and she was initiated by Srila Prabhupada through letter. So you can see, and then personally she served Srila Prabhupada by cleaning her room, his room, and cooking in Sridham Vrindavan. And there is one wonderful incident when Mataji was serving Srila Prabhupada. Then she came to know that earlier Srila Prabhupada had 3 servants. One servant, one secretary, and one cook. Then she came to know one person is doing all 3 things. So she asked, who is that young boy? And the reply came, that boy is Bhakti Kishore. His origin is Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. So Mataji, a very intimate relationship with Guru Maharaj also, and because of that she is coming here. Yes, last year also she came to bless us, and she is blessing. She was personally instructed. She was instructed Mataji to distribute his books, and she is rendering this service, especially schools and colleges, since last 50 plus years. So we are also awaiting her mercy. So I will request Mataji to please enlighten us. Hare Krishna. Our Grace Devi Shakti Mataji ki. एक रिक्वेस्ट है, बहुत लोग बाहर हैं तो आप आगे आ जाइए, खड़े होके भी जल्दी जल्दी आगे आ जाइए। एक बार खड़े हो जाइए, थोड़ा हरिनाम और साथ में आगे आने का भी बजाय काम। बोलिए हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। थैंक यू। तो दूरियां कम कीजिए, नजदीकियां बढ़ाइए, आगे आके बैठ जाइए।
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय जन वल्लभ जय जसोदानंदन Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Jaya Jamuna Tiramana Jare Jaya Kunda Vihare Jaya Jamuna Tiramana Jaya Kunda Vihare Jaya Gopijana
Jayum Vishnupad Paramhansa Paribrajakacharya Sotarasata Shishimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Arigor Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinatha Shai Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Srimati Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveda Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm very honored to be here today and very grateful that the organizers have invited me to come so that I can be enriched by this experience, seeing so many wonderful devotees. They requested me to speak on the importance of book distribution today. Prabhupada, he recommended that we should adopt the mentality of Sri Prahlad Maharaj in our book distribution. And of all of Prahlad Maharaj's prayers in Canto 7, Chapter 9, text number 44 is most essential for our preaching mentality. Prayena deva munaya svavimukti kama Monam charanti vijanena parartha nishtha. Naitan vihaya kripanan vimumuksha eko. Nanyam tvad asya sharanam brahmato nupashye. Prayena. Generally, in almost all cases. Deva, O my Lord. Munaya, the great saintly persons. Sva, personal, own. Vimukti kama, ambitious for liberation from this material world. Monam, silently. Charanti, they wander in places like the Himalayan forests, where they have no touch with the activities of the materialists. Vijane, in solitary places. Na, not. Para artha nishtha, interested in working for others by giving them the benefit of the Krishna consciousness movement. By enlightening them with Krishna consciousness. Na, not. Etan, these. Vihaya, leaving aside. Kripanan, fools and rascals, engaged in materialistic activity, who do not know the benefit of the human form of life. Mimukshe, I desire to be liberated and to return home back to Godhead. Ekaha, alone. Na, not. Anyam, other. Twat, but for you. Asya, of this. Sharanam, shelter. Brahmataha, of the living entity, rotating and wandering throughout the material universes. Anupashye, do I see. Translation. My dear Lord Nrsingadev, I see that there are many saintly persons, indeed, but they are not interested they are interested only in their own deliverance. Not caring for the big cities and towns. They go to the Himalayas or the forest to meditate with vows of silence. Monavrat. They are not interested in delivering others. As for me, however, I do not wish to be liberated alone, leaving aside all these poor fools and rascals. I know that without Krishna consciousness, without taking shelter of your lotus feet, one cannot be happy. Therefore, I wish to bring them back to the shelter at your lotus feet. Purport. This is the decision of the Vaishnava, the pure devotee of the Lord. For himself, he has no problems, even if he has to stay in this material world, because his only business is to remain in Krishna consciousness. The Krishna conscious person can go even to hell and still be happy. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj said, Naivod vijay para duratyaya vaitaranyaha. O best of the great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence. The pure devotee is never unhappy in any condition of life. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 6:17-28. Narayana parasarve na kutaschana bibyati. Svarg apavarga narakeshva pi tulyartha darshinaha. Devotees solely engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, never fear any condition of life. For them, the heavenly planets, liberation, and the hellish planets are all the same. For such devotees are interested only in the service of the Lord. For a devotee, being situated in the heavenly planets and being in the hellish planets are equal. For a devotee lives neither in heaven nor in hell, but with Krishna in the spiritual world. The secret of success for the devotee is not understood by the karmis and gyanis. Karmis therefore try to be happy by material adjustment, and gyanis want to be happy by becoming one with the Supreme. The devotee has no such interest. He is not interested in so-called meditation in the Himalayas or the forest. Rather, his interest is in the busiest part of the world, where he teaches people Krishna consciousness. The Krishna consciousness movement was started for this purpose. We do not teach one to meditate in a secluded place just so that one may show that he has become very much advanced and may be proud of his so-called transcendental meditation, although he engages in all sorts of foolish materialistic activity. A Vaishnava like Prahlad Maharaj is not interested in such a bluff of spiritual advancement. Rather, he is interested in enlightening people in Krishna consciousness, because that is the only way for them to become happy. Prahlad Maharaj says clearly, Nanyam tvad asya sharanam brahmato nupashye. I know that without Krishna consciousness, without taking shelter of your lotus feet, one cannot be happy. One wanders within the universe life after life, but by the grace of a devotee, a servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one can get the clue to Krishna consciousness, and then not only become happy in this world, but also return home back to Godhead. That is the real target of life, in life. The members of the Krishna consciousness movement are not at all interested in so-called meditation in the Himalayas or the forest, where one will only make a show of meditation, nor are they interested in opening many schools for yoga and meditation in the cities. Rather, every member of the Krishna consciousness movement is interested in going door to door to try to convince people about the teachings of Bhagavad Gita as it is, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. That is the purpose of the Hare Krishna movement. The members of the Krishna consciousness movement must be fully convinced that without Krishna, one cannot be happy. Thus, the Krishna conscious person avoids all kinds of pseudo-spiritualists, transcendentalists, meditators, monists, philosophers, and philanthropists. Om Jnana Timurandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunimilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavari Paschatya Deshatarine. So trying to understand the transcendental mood of little Prahlad Maharaj, 5-year-old boy, whose father had just threatened to chop off his head unless the Lord came personally to protect him. So what did the Lord do? He came and he killed the father. And Prahlad Maharaj, getting the benediction of Lord Nrsingadev's hand on his head, was then able to express beautiful prayers describing the glories of the Lord and particularly the compassion of the devotee of the Lord. Each one of us sitting here, we have to remember and give thanks to whoever that devotee or devotees were who helped us come to Krishna consciousness, who picked us up out of misery and darkness and brought us to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet, to the lotus feet of our Guru Maharajas, and put in our hand one of Srila Prabhupada's books. Now, Srila Prabhupada, he had a transcendental plot. He followed his own plot. He was very aggressive. His spiritual master gave him an instruction to preach Krishna consciousness in English in the Western countries, and that would benefit the entire world. So he began with the Back to Godhead magazine in the middle of World War II, when it was practically impossible to get paper, and he did everything he could to begin preaching in English. Even at the time of his sannyas initiation, when he was asked to speak in front of an audience, only Hindi and Bengali speaking, he chose to speak in English. And then Prabhupada knew that he needed weapons. If he were going to go to the West, he needed books. Prabhupada made 4 mundane examples to our book distribution preaching. One is, he compared our preaching to war on Maya. He said that these books are like bombs, because Prabhupada, he lived in Calcutta during the Second World War, and the Japanese, they were coming and bombing Calcutta, and everyone fled from Calcutta, but his wife wouldn't leave, so he had to stay there. And the bombs were just raining down in Calcutta. So he used that as an example of how we have to rain down the books in this war on Maya, because these books will be the saving grace of all of humanity. He also used the example of the communists. Again, Prabhupada in Calcutta, in in Bengal, West Bengal, the communists were very active. But the Russians never came to India. They sent their books here. They sent their books in 9 different languages in India, and that way they were able to get a very strong following in West Bengal, in Kerala, Tamil Nadu. You never saw a communist Russian coming here to preach. They only sent their books. He also gave the example of the Christians. Now the Christians, we know about the missionaries here in India. The Christians only have 1 book. And they spread that 1 book in languages all over the world, and they're able to convert so many people to Christianity with just 1 book. Prabhupada said, we have 40 books. Can you imagine the effect of our 40 books compared to their 1 book? So Prabhupada specifically emphasized that his books should be printed in every single language. We now have Prabhupada's books printed in 87 languages of the world. We're just preparing now to present to Prime Minister Modi, we're waiting for him to get his 3rd term, a set of 50 Bhagavad Gitas, 50 different languages, so that whenever he meets the diplomats, he can give them in Azerbaijani, in Kazakh, in Norwegian, in Finnish, in Greek, any language in the world. He can now present Bhagavad Gita to the leaders of the world. This is the influence that Srila Prabhupada's books is now having in the whole world. He also presented one last mundane example, and that is, we're all very familiar with this, the Indian Railways. He said that in the brochure for all of the employees, it's described that each employee has to see that the wheels are always turning on the vehicles, the carriages. That's the job of every single employee of Indian Railways, that the wheels are always turning. And Prabhupada said similarly, Our wheels turning means that the books are constantly being distributed. So there are different levels that we can understand the benefits and the enlightenment that occurs when we distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. First of all, there was a devotee named Rameshwar, and he was in charge of the BBT when Srila Prabhupada was present with us. And one time he was trying to encourage the biggest book distributors. They were in Los Angeles, which was the world headquarters at that time, before Mayapur became the world headquarters. And in order to encourage them, he said that actually this book distribution is Lord Chaitanya's Leela. Because Lord Chaitanya, he predicted. Who knows that verse? Prithivityache jata nagaradigram sarvatra prachar haibi moranam. That was from Chaitanya Bhagavat. So he was trying to convince the devotees that every time you distribute a book, actually you are engaging in Lord Chaitanya's personal Leela of fulfilling his desire that his name be heard in every town and village of the world. Then he went on further to say that just like the gopis in Krishna Leela, the gopis are not interested in meeting Krishna themselves. There's a popular phrase in Vrindavan, Radhe, 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 Krishna Milade. Everyone wants to meet Sham Milade, excuse me. Radhe, Radhe, Sham Milade. Everyone's interested in meeting Sham, and they're praying to Radharani that you let me meet your Sham. But actually the gopis, they weren't interested in meeting Krishna. They wanted to bring other gopis to meet Krishna. And Radharani, she would have different techniques how she could trick the gopis to enjoy with Krishna for both of their pleasures, Krishna's pleasure and the gopis' pleasure. So he was saying that when we distribute books, we're actually like the gopis because we're trying to bring someone to Krishna so they'll be happy and so Krishna will be happy. So one of the book distributors, they thought that this was Sahajiya mentality. And they wrote to Prabhupada, is this true? That this is Chaitanya Leela? And we're just like the gopis? And what did Prabhupada write back? Yes, this is true. So actually, when we're distributing Prabhupada's books, it's on a much higher level that we might understand. Our temple leaders, whoever our commanders are, they may say, all right, now you go out and distribute books today. And we may not feel like distributing books. We might feel embarrassed to approach people. And Prabhupada, he says to that, you just see how aggressive I was. No one invited me to come to America. No one invited me to distribute my books in America. No one invited me to teach them about Krishna. I was very aggressive, particularly with my book distribution. When Prabhupada went to America, the only thing he had with him was 200 sets of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. He had no money. He had one bag of chira, poa, and that was it. 1 or 2 dhotis, a typewriter that he was able to get. His books. So his transcendental plot was, if I distribute my books, then everything will be successful. And it was by his book distribution, he was able to make $1, $5, $16 for a set, $20 for a set. And gradually, his movement, his society increased just by this book distribution. So Prabhupada would again and again write in his letters. I collected here 8 pages. Again and again and again, Prabhupada, he writes the same things. in his books and in his letters. Distribution of our books and literatures is our main propaganda program. One Krishna book sold means we go forward one step in our Krishna consciousness. We should always remember this. In my heart, I want the Krishna book in small or large form should be distributed in every home who are English-speaking people. So this is when we only had the books in English. Now we have books in all the languages. Prabhupada wanted the books in all the languages to be translated. More than anything, I want that my students should distribute my books and literatures profusely all over the world. And this should be our foremost concern. These literatures are the solid ground upon which our preaching stands. So I want that they should be available to everyone, as many as possible. And then Prabhupada, he explains, because sometimes the leaders, in order to please Prabhupada, they would say, all right, go out and distribute 100 books today. Don't come back until you've distributed 100. Well, I never did that. Some devotees might have done that. So it was asked to Prabhupada, what about numbers? And Prabhupada, he explained that the numbers don't matter to Krishna. The sincerity matters. So we can look at this in 3 different levels. We can see the personal gain that we get, the personal advancement and enlightenment we get by book distribution. Prabhupada says 1 step closer to Krishna every time we distribute a Krishna book. Also, Prabhupada explained that when the devotees are on book distribution, they're actually in trance. They're in samadhi. And anyone who has gone on book distribution as a full-time service, you can attest that Krishna sends you people and you're in samadhi, you're in ecstasy. Prabhupada says that this is real intoxication when you're distributing his books and giving Krishna to other people. So on a personal level, we make advancement. Then on the next step, pleasing Guru and Parampara. Again and again, Prabhupada says, I can read to you so many quotations. If you want to please me, distribute my books. Print books, distribute profusely. That will be the best preaching work. What will your 3 minutes preaching work do? So Prabhupada said this, he wrote this same letter to 3 of his GBCs. And the GBC in New York, GBC in Europe, GBC in UK, that what will be the benefit of your 3 minutes of preaching? Well, we know that we have to explain things, convince people by our speaking, because by Shravanam Kirtanam we can understand the philosophy. But Srila Prabhupada's point that he wanted to make was that if you simply put the book in someone's hand, he says that just by touching the book, they become purified, even if they don't read it. That's how purifying Prabhupada's books are. And eventually, if they have the book in their hand, they will read it. Or we've had so many examples of devotees who their family members got a book. Right here we have an example. His uncle got a book in Agartala. He didn't get the book. His uncle left the book there. He read it, and he's here now as a disciple of Bhakti Charu Swami. So many devotees were made by books that they found, by books that they just by chance got. So every time we distribute a book, even if the person only touches it, they make spiritual advancement. So not only that, but because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati gave the order to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada passed that order on to us. We can understand that when we distribute books, we are pleasing Srila Prabhupada, we are pleasing Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and especially on this day of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance, it was Bhaktivinoda Thakur who sent the first books out of India. I went to McGill University to find that first book about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life and precepts, and it was there in the library. He made an effort to spread the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu outside of India, and he instilled that effort in the heart of his son, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, who gave that same effort to Srila Prabhupada. And that same effort is in each one of our hearts, because Prabhupada, his success was by his book distribution. All of us are here through book distribution. So I'm going to leave all of these quotations now at this time when Bhadra Purnima is coming up just in 2 days. We'll also hear more about the glories of distributing Srimad Bhagavatam in particular, all the benefits of one who receives Srimad Bhagavatam, one who distributes Srimad Bhagavatam. But in the meantime, after that, coming up is the marathon, Bhagavad Gita marathon. But for book distributors are on a marathon 365 days out of the year. These special days, they're considered to be like discount sales. If somebody wants to go back to Godhead, bam, you just give a Srimad Bhagavatam set on this day, and you'll go back to Godhead. But the full-time book distributors, just like when the gopis try to bring everyone to Krishna, we try to convince others, yes, distribute Prabhupada's books. You'll get great benefit, and whoever you give the book to will also get great benefit. So this is the message. Krishna is pleased when he says in the end of Bhagavad Gita, that one who gives this transcendental message to my devotees, he is the most dear to me. So on all levels, personal level, pleasing our Guru, and pleasing Krishna, book distribution is the topmost of all services. And one may ask, between Bhagavat Vidhi and Pancharatriki Vidhi, both should be done together. They're like two tracks on a train. And Prabhupada explains that of the two, yes, they're both very important. Of the two, Bhagavat Vidhi, Bhagavat Marg, is more important. The Pancharatriki Vidhi, or our sadhana, our attending classes, our chanting of our japa, this is so that we become purified enough so that we can give this message of Krishna consciousness to others in the form of book distribution. So I encourage you all, become full-time book distributors, make your life perfect, go back to Godhead in this very lifetime by distributing Prabhupada's books, and help others become fortunate, just as Prahlad Maharaj. He wasn't interested in his own spiritual advancement. He was interested in helping the foolish and the ignorant come to the lotus feet of Lord Nrsingadev. So every day, you're so fortunate you have Lord Nrsingadev here to worship. You pray to him for intelligence and for strength to go out there, drop these bombs of Prabhupada's books, and try to make the world fully Krishna conscious by reading Prabhupada's books. Okay, thank you very much. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Yes, Prabhu?
My question is that with your own life experience, would you like to share with us how book distribution purify our heart, and what should we pray when we show a book to a person?
At one point, Prabhupada sent us out. This was before we had any temples in India. he sent us out to distribute books all over India. And we were all alone, my husband and myself. And I was feeling very lonely. No prasadam, no devotees, no temples. We only had Prabhupada's books with us, and we carried them on our head wherever we went. And because Prabhupada sent us out, we would come back and report to Prabhupada. We would show him our receipts of which schools and colleges took which books. And while coming back to see Prabhupada in Bombay one time, I was doing Prabhupada's service in his room, so I said to my husband, "You please ask Prabhupada, I'm missing devotees and deities and prasadam so much. Ask him if we can have some traveling deities when we go out." So on the morning walk, he asked Prabhupada, "Can we have some traveling deities to worship as we're traveling?" Prabhupada said, "My books are your deities." They are Shabda Rama. They are transcendental sound vibration. You worship my books. So that was very hard for me to understand. In a book form, how do you dress them? You can't bathe them. But because Prabhupada gave that direct order to us, I had to understand, what does it mean that these books are a deity? And I began to realize, as we read Prabhupada's books, every single word, every single syllable, the word-for-word translations, is just like a particle of Krishna's body. And Krishna speaks to us through these books and through the words of his devotees. And eventually, you worship these books just as they are Krishna. Because we know that the Srimad Bhagavatam particularly, that's a spotless Purana. And through the Srimad Bhagavatam, we can understand Krishna, his devotees, devotional service, everything. So that statement by Srila Prabhupada gave me the strength to make his books my deities and to worship his books my whole life. Jai. Does that help? Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, there is one statement, by hook or by crook.
Yes.
My books. So
Yes.
what's the purport of this statement?
By hook or by crook. Well, Prabhupada, he gave an amendment to that. That we should never degrade ourselves in our principles. So sometimes the devotees, they were using different techniques for book distribution. For instance, the Bangladesh war, that take this, your donation will go to feed the refugees in India, by hook or by crook. Prabhupada didn't approve of that. We have to maintain our principles in all circumstances. When the devotees in the West, because seeing a devotee would be quite an experience. In the West, in the prisons, they wear orange. So we looked like escaped convicts. With the shaved head. In the insane asylums, they make everyone shave their head in the West. So it was very hard for the Westerners to understand the devotees at first. Although they were attracted, we were attracted, we became devotees. But some of the devotees, they decided that they would dress like normal people, put on wigs, things like that. So when it was presented to Prabhupada, in fact, some of them even came to Prabhupada in their garb, and Prabhupada was quite amused because they would use these type of techniques just so that the people would accept them. I have one example that Indradumna Swami, when he first went to Russia, when Russia was still under the Iron Curtain, he went there as a liquor salesman. And, and he had in his luggage bottles of liquor because that's what everybody was interested in there. So immediately they let him in, and once he got in there, he took over. So that's a good example of by hook or by crook. So the devotees use their intelligence how to enter in. You enter like a pin and become a plow, right? So that's the type of hook or crook. Never to lie. We should never lie. And we should always be legal. Those are the two rules that Prabhupada gave us. We should never lie, and we should always be legal. But we can use some type of methods if it'll help us in our book distribution. Okay, thank you. One young boy had a question here. It's our future generation of book distributors.
He wants to speak in Hindi.
हाँ, हिंदी में बात करो, ठीक है.
Back to God of lifetime. तो जिंदगी के लिए खाली हम भगवान के पास जाते हैं. भगवान ने कहा है कि हम एक बार जो मेरे धाम जाते हैं वो वापस नहीं आता है. तो फिर एक बार के लिए हम भगवान के पास जाते हैं.
I couldn't understand.
He's saying, Mataji, you said back to God for one life. So he's saying, he's understanding it that we go for only one life, then we come back. So he's asking only one life or we stay eternally there.
अच्छा. आप इस जीवन में कृष्ण के पास जा सकते, लेकिन कृष्ण क्या करते? वो भी इधर आते प्रचार करने के लिए, हाँ? तो जब कृष्ण आते, हम भी इनके साथ जाना चाहते. समझ आते? वो कृष्ण गोलोक वृंदावन में है और वो देख रहे कि कितना दुख है इस जगत में, तो इनका प्रेम और इनका दया से वो इधर भी आते, इसलिए चैतन्य महाप्रभु भी इधर आए. ठीक है? Any more questions? I think it's time for Shruti Kirti. Yes, I don't want to I want to hear him. One more question? Okay.
Krishna, Mataji, your Prabhupada disciples, आपने अकेले में भी बहुत strong process है, संरचना maintain करके अकेले में भी preaching किया और बहुत क्या, बाकी जब हम यहाँ पे programs में आते हैं तो Prabhupada disciples के association में बहुत energy feel करते हैं और सोचते हैं.
इसलिए मैं भी आया इधर.
बट माताजी जब हम devotees association से दूर जाते हैं, हमारा प्रसाद होता है, मतलब भोजन भी ऐसा ही होता है, just like school. तो माताजी हम
He's saying that.
तो माताजी हम हमारी consciousness कैसे maintain करें और कैसे strong determined रहे अपनी साधना को लेकर और सेवा को लेकर, like book distribution, preaching and etc.
It's blurry. Tell me what he said.
He's saying that when we we are here, we develop high consciousness. But when we go outside, food is not there, oxygen is not there. How should we develop our consciousness and maintain the high spirit?
बाहर मत जाओ, इधर रहो. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai. Oh. After.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, you can read these after Mangalarti if you like.
Always Hari Shakti Mataji ki. So we are very grateful to Always Hari Shakti Mataji. Now we request His Shrutakirti Prabhu to please come here. So how all you are feeling? Don't we feel that we are in the spiritual sky? So this is the effect of the presence of association of so many wonderful devotees. So we are very, very fortunate to have the association of His Holiness Swami Maharaj who arrived today. Her Grace Devi Shakti Mataji, she also arrived today, and so many other Srila Prabhupada disciples and sannyasis and wonderful devotees. So we, from the core of our heart, we are very, very eternally grateful to them and express our gratitude and welcome them by one time chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Now we will hear from His Grace Shrutakirti Prabhu. Just wish to mention, just as Mataji informed about, very important festival, that is Bhadra Purnima. So many devotees are already coming forward to sponsor books for colleges, libraries. So you all are requested to please come forward. 18th September at 1 p.m. we have very important event in which you will get the opportunity to receive Srimad Bhagavatam set. So you all can get Pustak Bhagavat from Bhakti Bhagavat. So please give your names to His Grace Sundar Damodar Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I should begin. We having translation? No translation today.
Yeah, we can. Doing it on FM. FM.
Ah, okay. Yes, I read that. Okay. Hare Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachani Nirvishesha Sanyavadi Paskyacha Desatani Panchakopa Tirubhishcha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Daivashakti Mataji, her and I were from the same city, Philadelphia, in USA. When I first met the devotees, as she mentioned, her husband Nayana Brahm, he was temple president. She was also very much, as Prabhupada would say, temple president. Prabhupada once wrote a letter to Jamuna saying that the men, they manage externally, and the women behind the scenes, they manage everything internally. We said that to her also, great devotee, Jamuna. So yes, it's due to her that I'm here. She's one of the first people who was preaching to me way back then, and now she's been in Vrindavan, as I mentioned yesterday, for 50 years. Prabhupada told her to distribute books. She only came here because they guaranteed to her that that's what she would do, talk about book distribution. Otherwise, she'll never leave Vrindavan. And because of what today is, I had an idea what to speak about, but I think I have to start somewhere else. how important Srila Prabhupada's books are. When I became his servant, way back then in 1972, I was always surprised to see every afternoon Srila Prabhupada reading his books. His books. If I would go in the room back and forth, he'd be sitting behind the desk with his reading glasses on and be completely absorbed in his books. Initially, I found it a little surprising. He's reading his books, right? They're his books. He's reading them. Once on an airplane, Pradyumna and myself were next to Srila Prabhupada on the plane, and he's reading his books. He's reading Bhagavad Gita as it is. And we're just sitting beside him, chanting or something, and he looked at us, and he said, "What author reads his books once they're printed?" And of course, he would give the answers. He would ask the question and give the answers, and said, "No one. Once they print a book, they go on to the next one. They have no interest. It's finished." He said, "But I'm here reading this book. Why?" He said, "Because these are not my words, Krishna's words." So as I said, his afternoon, Prabhupada, like today, very special day, appearance day of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I know going through the years in our society, we always saw what his schedule was one of the things, very, very regulated, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he had his schedule there, and he told everyone what his schedule was. Prabhupada would refer to it as well. How he did his magistrate business, he had his time for chanting, had his time for writing, had his time for reading, 2-3 hours of sleep. But as what I was able to observe, Prabhupada was the same. Actually, very, very regulated. I mentioned that yesterday. Regulation, he was very regulated, getting up around midnight every day, somewhere between midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning, and that's when he would do his translating work. If it was possible other times, like in Hawaii, sometimes he would translate all day long because he was in this little island. There were thousands and thousands of disciples, just the people at the temple there. So he was free to translate. But in the morning, as he said himself, he took 2-3 hours of sleep. That's what he did. And then we followed his schedule through the day, of course. By 5 o'clock or so in the morning, he'd ring his bell. I'd go in and get things prepared, and then the morning walk. And then go back to the temple, greet the deities, Guru Puja, class, breakfast. Then he'd meet with devotees at the temple there, help with management. During massage, as I mentioned yesterday, he would hear the mail every day, 20, 25 letters coming in. But after his lunch and a brief nap, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that was his time, his bhajan. Sometimes reading his books. Sometimes he would just sit on the floor, play harmonium. I'd hear the harmonium. I'd run into the room. And I'd wait, and he'd just look and grab the cartels. That meant get the cartels. And I could play cartels while he chanted. And other times he would just be walking around his room that time of the day, in the afternoon, 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, chanting rounds. So he had his time, personal time, when he did his bhajan. Then again in the evening was darshan time. And then little prasadam, sometimes a lot of prasadam, 9 o'clock at night or so. But the most amazing thing was seeing him reading his books. So one day after I was with him, it was 6 months I had been with him, and it was afternoon time, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and he rings the bell. I go in the room right before his asana, offer obeisances, and he has his glasses on, and he's got his Bhagavad Gita. He's reading his Bhagavad Gita. And he stopped, he rang his bell, and he looked at me. He said, "This book is so nice. If you just read this one book, you can become Krishna conscious. He said, just this book, it's so nice. He said, you don't have to read hundreds of books, just this one book. Then he put his head back into the book, continued reading. And I offered obeisances and went back to my room. He was just in so much ecstasy, reading Bhagavad Gita as it is. And he wanted to share it, and he wanted to encourage me, I'm sure, to read his books. So we're traveling around the world. I'm with him 5 times, went around the world with him. So that was in Los Angeles. So now many months go by, and it's the afternoon, one afternoon, and he rings his bell. I run into the room, offer obeisances. He's sitting behind his desk. He's reading Nectar of Devotion, his Nectar of Devotion. And he stops, and he just looks at me. This book is so nice. If you just read this one book, you can become Krishna conscious. He said, exact same thing he said 6 months ago. You don't have to read hundreds of books. You don't have to read so many books. Everything, he said, is here in this one book. If you just read this book, understand, he said, you can become Krishna conscious. You don't have to read any other books. Then he put his head back down, so he was finished. Prabhupada didn't waste words. If he didn't need to say something, he didn't. Like Maharaj said the other day, and I said last night, first-class servant knows what to do. So just by a look, he can instruct you. Krishna Balaram Mandir at his home, he'd ring the bell, I'd come in the room, and he'd just go. It meant turn the fans on. You had, this is being first-class servant. You already know what to do. Sometimes he would just look at the French doors. His French doors, men open the curtains or close the curtains depending on the time of day without saying anything. So when he spoke, you should listen, because whatever he's going to say is not casual. Even it seems casual. Everything he says, he's trying to get you, make a little advancement in Krishna consciousness. So the second time, he's reading a different book, but he says the same thing. Everything he said is here in this book. You just read this book, you can be Krishna conscious. Then he put his head down, which meant he was finished. And I offered obeisances. I went back to my room. Another year went by. He was in Juhu. In the afternoon. Afternoon was his time. Imagine, he's running an entire society, 100 temples, thousands of devotees, but he understands and he wants to relish these books, Krishna. And he was a devotee. What we were able to see, Daiva Shakti and I and many other fortunate devotees, Prabhupada, as soon as he left the temple room, went into his room, he was a devotee of Krishna. Just humble devotee of Krishna. And he enjoyed everything that he was teaching us. He was doing himself, and he relished. So now 2 years later, after I join him, rings the bell. I go in the room and offer obeisances. Do you have a book? Any book. As Prabhupada would say, any book. I need a book. Anyone have a book? I'm asking. Does anyone have a book? I need a book. No one here has a Bhagavad Gita with them?
Not only book, we have sets.
Open book. This is good.
We have a lot of sets.
Okay. So the third time, and we know the number 3 is also a very important number. So many things with Srila Prabhupada 3 times. It would happen 3 times and finished. So I come in, I offer obeisances, I sit up. Prabhupada has his glasses, reading glasses on. He's reading Krishna book. My very first service, personal service I had with Srila Prabhupada was reading Krishna book. Every afternoon for a week in the garden, I read Krishna. I was the designated Krishna book reader. So now I come in, I offer obeisances, and he looks at me. What does he say? This book is wonderful. This book is so nice. He said, if you just read this one book, you can be Krishna conscious. He said, you don't have to read any other books. He knew what I was not doing. He kept telling me, kept trying, just read one book, do something, read a book. So he said the same thing, just read this one book. You don't have to read hundreds of books. He said, this book is so nice. He said, if you read this book, understand you can become Krishna conscious. But he didn't put his head back down. He just staring at me. It means I can't leave. Until his head goes back down, I know. Just sit there. Faithful dog. You just sit and wait. What do you want? Then he looks at me and I'm sure he's thinking. He said, you don't even have to read the whole book. One chapter, he's pointing in his Krishna book. You read one chapter in this book, you can be Krishna conscious. One chapter. And I never say a word. Good or bad, I wouldn't say anything. I would just sit and listening. And he's looking at me. You don't even have to read the whole chapter. He said, one page. You read one page in this book, you can be Krishna conscious. And he's still looking at me. You don't even have to read the whole page. If you read one line in this book, you can become Krishna conscious. We're not finished. We're not done yet. And he's looking at me. You don't even have to read the whole line. He said, if you read one word in this book, you can be Krishna conscious. And he went, there, and he pointed. I don't know what page, what sentence, what word, what chapter. And then he pointed, because Krishna is in every word. See? This is Srila Prabhupada's books. This is why those that know, just like Mataji, Daiva Shakti Mataji, Prabhupada said, distribute my books. Her whole life she's been distributing Prabhupada's books. Those of you that come to Vrindavan, she has her matchless gift shop there, international bookstore in the front. She has so many book tables going on, just doing what Srila Prabhupada wanted. And as she says, we're all here. Even you think, well, I didn't come because of a book, I came because of this person. Everybody's here because of Srila Prabhupada's books. And as she said, just like, well, in our December marathon, where do you find these books? They're on the altar, along with the deities. Prabhupada said, if you just touch, you just hand the person the book, they benefit, right? It's Krishna. Krishna is there in every word. So this is what I saw with Srila Prabhupada. He encouraged us, distribute my books, help expand the mission, Krishna consciousness. But reading, he said, also you have to read. He said, otherwise you're out distributing and somebody says, well, what's this one about? And you say, well, I haven't read that yet. And on Sankirtan, of course, as the years were going by, in 1973, even 72, we had Krishna book, distributing Krishna books. And first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we're distributing that. But then by 1975, 1976, or second, third, fourth, fifth canto, sixth canto, and some of the devotees, they were concerned because as the books would get printed, hundreds of thousands, that's what you distributed. So it might be it was the fifth canto, all about the hellish planets, all about not going to the moon. And devotees said, Prabhupada, is it okay to distribute this book? Any book. I heard that phrase so many times. Any book you distribute. They're so amazing. Once we were in Australia. We would travel. When you traveled, it was very difficult working with the schedule, constantly traveling. At least for us 20-year-olds it was. Prabhupada, he was transcendental. Wherever he went, everything just resumed, right? The schedule he had. Always followed that schedule. So when we traveled to Australia, it's 14 hours to go anywhere from India to Sydney, 14 hours. So it might be 20 hours, a few different airports. So then we got to Perth, Australia. And it was just myself, Paramahamsa, and 2 young Australian brahmacharis. Very young, very new brahmacharis. And they were very excited. They got to be there to help. So Australia is famous for milk products. If you know, ever followed see Kurma's books, and Kurma, sour cream, so much sour cream, clotted cream in Australia like England, so many milk products. So we got there, and that day, we had nice breakfast, which I was making. We had ghee, we had cream, we had sour cream, we had cheeses. So this was rare for us when you travel with Prabhupada. So we were eating very nicely. I had a nice big lunch, myself, Paramahamsa, a few young brahmacharis. Prabhupada's in his sitting room. It was a cottage, like a vacation cottage. So it had like 3 little bedrooms, a kitchen, 1 bathroom. So after prasadam, myself and my godbrothers, Prabhupada took a nap. We took our nap. Of course, Prabhupada, 15, 20 minutes, Prabhupada's up, and all of us, we say conked out. We were out. We were out, sleeping very, very nicely. And eventually I heard a bell ringing. You know, Prabhupada just had a handbell. So where I was literally, had to be within earshot. You had to be able to hear the bell ring. So we're always very close, sometimes just outside his sitting room. But we had our own little bedroom, the 4 of us were staying in. So finally I hear a bell ringing, and I was literally dreaming. And as soon as I heard the bell, I knew I'm in trouble. Just by the sound of the bell, I'm in trouble. I knew I'm sleeping. I go in and I'm offering obeisances, and as would often happen, if he's going to chastise you, he didn't have to look at you. It's while you're down on the ground, he's already yelling at you. I've been ringing this bell for hours. It could have been a few, but hours. Sometimes he could say for years. He was on a different level, pure devotee. His time frame was like Lord Brahma, you know? 2 minutes was like 10 years. I've been ringing this bell for hours. Where have you been? Why haven't you answered? Sleeping. Sleeping like dead men. Everyone, sleeping like dead men. He said, the karmis, Prabhupada would call them karmis. The karmis, he said, they're all out working very, very hard for their family, for their sex life, not the devotees, sleeping very comfortably. Call them. Oh, now he wants to tell everyone, call them. So I offered obeisances, I left the room, and usually when this was going on, you would feel a little bit of happiness seeing your godbrothers getting chastised by Prabhupada. I have to admit it. When he said call them, you become happy because you knew he's going to chastise them, not you. As long as you're not getting chastised, you're happy. So I went into the room and they're all sleeping soundly. First I woke up Paramahamsa, Prabhupada's secretary. But I wasn't feeling happy. And I said, Prabhupada wants to see you. He's really mad. That was one of our mantras. Prabhupada wants to see you and he's really mad. And then I went to the brahmacharis next there, the young boys. I said, Prabhupada wants to see you. And they're all smiling. They're thinking, oh. I couldn't even tell them what was in store for them. So the three of us, we go back into Prabhupada's room, offer obeisances, and sit up. He says it all again. He was expert. He could say the very same paragraph, not miss one word. Everyone's sleeping like dead men. He was, karmis are working so hard. Huh? He would say that for their sex life, working hard for their sex life. Not the devotees, all very happily, comfortably sleeping. And then he looked at all of us. He said, go ahead, go back to the room and sleep. So we all got up, offered obeisances, and we went back in the room, and everybody's their hand in their bead. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. And there's no question of sleeping anymore. So after 2 minutes, I hear the bell ring again. And now everyone's like, oh no. And I'm like, oh no. I go back into the room, offer obeisances. He said, call everyone. So I went back in. I said, Prabhupada wants to see you. The devotees are not so excited this time. They go, what else is he going to do? So we all go back into the room together. This was my daily life. This is what life was like for over 2 years. I long for that life. We all go back and offer obeisances. Prabhupada looks at us. He says, okay, we'll have class. This was how he would fix things. Never has to apologize, your guru, there's no question, but he would let you know. He cares about you. All he's trying to do is see that you become Krishna conscious. So he says, we'll have class. And he looks at the one brahmachari. Right behind him is a bookshelf. This is 1975. So now there's 20, 30 of Prabhupada's books on his bookshelf. Every temple he went to, his quarters, there was a bookshelf. The only books in the bookshelf were always Prabhupada's books. No other books, no encyclopedias, dictionaries, other Sanskrit books, nothing, magazines, Prabhupada's books. So he said to the devotee, get a book. He said, and read. Of course, what did the devotee say? Which book, Srila Prabhupada? Any book. So the devotee gets the book, and he's looking at Prabhupada. Where should I read? Anywhere. Anywhere. So then the devotee started reading, and Prabhupada made us understand. He loved all of us. So many instructions he gave me. I know trying to help me in my course in Krishna consciousness. He was so expert, he could preach to you, he could chastise you without you even knowing that's what he was doing. You just thought he was talking to you, at least I did. I was rather dense. So he would say things to me and I didn't understand. He was telling me what to do. Told you, in Los Angeles, I was brahmachari. I was with him for a year. I didn't know what was in my future, but he did. He could see. He could see by how things were going. I bring him his lunch, put it on the table. I'm offering obeisances. He said, being a brahmachari is an austerity. Being a grahasta is an austerity. He said, you just have to decide which austerity you want. And then he started eating. So again, he's done. Offer obeisances, go back. Now I have to roll chapatis, bring them in one at a time. So 24 hours later, I put the plate his plate on the table. I'm offering obeisances. He says, it was more difficult managing my family than it is managing ISKCON. 2 sentences, he said. 2 minutes. 1 minute one day, 1 minute the next day. And again, it would right over my head. But he was telling me the importance. Sleeping, Maya. Big Maya. He was always ringing the bell, sometimes in the morning before the walk. Not all of his entourage would rise for Mangal Arti sometimes. And he knew. When we arrived in Vrindavan in 1972 for Kartik, it was myself, Pradyumna, Shyamasundar, the 3 of us. We were together for over a year. Wonderful. Both of them, amazing devotees. But they were sleeping. It's like 6 in the morning in Vrindavan, Radha Damodar Temple. And I'm new. I'm with them now for literally 3 weeks. He rings the bell. I go in the room. He said, where are the others? I said, oh, Prabhupada, they're taking rest. Call them. So I went in, tapped Shyamasundar. Prabhupada wants to see you. So, of course, we all go in together, offer obeisances. And Prabhupada said, why are you sleeping? He said, you should be up. He said, you should be up early in the morning. He said, one should bathe early in the morning by 4 o'clock in the morning, cold bath. He said, it's not an austerity. He said, it's common sense. Common sense. It's Ayurvedic principle. Common sense, he said. He said, and if you rise early in the morning, attend Mangal Arti, chant your rounds. He said, after 12 years, everything you say will be perfect. That's the potency of Srila Prabhupada, the potency of the Mahamantra. It was 1975. Prabhupada went around the world 2 months. He went around the world in 2 months. He visited 12 temples in those 2 months. Started in Mumbai, through Japan, Los Angeles, Mexico City, Caracas, and then the US. Every temple he went to, now imagine, this is 10 years after he arrived in America. And as he goes to each place, this is what he sees. Hundreds of people chanting Hare Krishna. And every arrival he would speak. And every one of those arrivals in Los Angeles, in Mexico City, in Caracas, in Miami, especially in Atlanta, he would have tears in his eyes, talking Lord Chaitanya. In Caracas, he said, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, they've traveled so far to be with you, he said. Of course, he was traveling so much to be with us, to bring everyone to Krishna consciousness. And then he went to Los Angeles, then he went to London, Bhaktivedanta Manor. And so 4 or 5 times he's on the Vyasasan speaking, and he'd just stop. And he'd go into ecstasy. He's seeing, he could see. He did it. He did it. He always had faith it would happen. But now he's seeing the result. Temples all over the world, people all over the world chanting Hare Krishna. He was in ecstasy. And then when he arrives in Mayapur, he gives his address again. And again, as he's speaking, he just, tears filled his eyes, and he just stopped, closed his eyes. And after, sometimes it could seem like forever, it was usually just a minute or two, but it was a very long minute. Behind him there was a sannyasi, and everybody's quiet, just like here. You couldn't hear a sound. And the devotee behind him starts chanting, Namo Vishnu Padaya. And Prabhupada's eyes open. And then the kirtan went on. So then after the kirtan was over, Prabhupada's walking up the stairs back to his room, and Brahmananda and myself are behind him and other devotees, and there's a big argument going on. Why did he start chanting? Prabhupada was eyes closed, he was in ecstasy. Why did he chant? He shouldn't be chanting, he should just wait for Prabhupada to open his eyes. And others were saying, no, chant Hare Krishna, that's what we do, we always chant Hare Krishna. So this discussion's going on. And Prabhupada gets into his room. Brahmananda and myself, we go in the room with him. Prabhupada sits behind his desk. And Brahmananda says, Srila Prabhupada, this morning on the Vyasasana, you went into ecstasy. He said, when that happens, he said, what should we do? And Prabhupada looked at him like, why are you even asking? He said, I don't do that very often. He said very humbly, I don't do that very often. Prabhupada controlled his emotions all the time. But sometimes it would leak out. And Brahmananda continued, yes, but when it happens, when you do it, what should we do? And Prabhupada just looked, he said, just chant Hare Krishna. Like, you can go now, just chant Hare Krishna. Then when he went into that building, the Lotus building, so now it was almost done, like 90% done. And Prabhupada stayed there. So after that, we all went up into the room, and Jayapataka Maharaj was there, and Bhavananda, Atreya Rishi from Iran, Atreya Rishi, one of the GBCs at that time. And Prabhupada was very happy to see the Lotus building. And Jayapataka Maharaj, he would always glorify Srila Prabhupada. Whenever he entered the room, he would chant different slokas and things, and it was very sweet. So then Prabhupada was looking, he said, very, very nice, he said. And Bhavananda said, it's all by you, Srila Prabhupada, it's all by your mercy. Prabhupada said, no, he said, I had an idea, he said, but Krishna has done. And then he said, it's all the mercy of my spiritual master. He said, it's all the mercy of Prabhupada and Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He said, it's by their mercy. And then he said, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he predicted that in the future there would be devotees from so many languages, so many countries chanting here in Mayapur Dham. He said he made that prediction. And then Prabhupada said, then he continued, he said that someone would come to distribute Krishna consciousness all over the world. He said that was Bhakti Vinod Thakur's prediction. He said, that person I may be. And that's all he said. Just like he would never, just like he said to me, I mentioned last night, perhaps my father knew. But then he would never go any further. He didn't want to hear his glories, Srila Prabhupada. So he said the same thing. That person I may be. Right after he said that, he looked at Jayapataka. So you're planting these bananas? He went from one extreme to simply planting bananas, and it was a special kind of banana. So when he said it, Jayapataka said, yes, we're planting bananas are there. He said, so this banana is there? He said, well, no, not right now, Srila Prabhupada, that banana is not there. And then Prabhupada said, so with the cows, I don't know if any of you see nowadays, there's this whole big thing that, only the Sarabi cows, a real cow, A2 milk, and there's A1 milk coming from the Western country. They have all these different things that they say. And Prabhupada looked at Jayapataka, he said, if you bring one Jersey cow from the West, and you made it with the Sarabi cow here in India, he said it'll be very good. He said because the cows in India, they can tolerate a lot of heat. but the milk is not very rich, not very creamy. He said, but the Jersey cow is very creamy milk. Prabhupada knew, because New Vrindavan, we used to give him milk. Kirtan and I would literally make it half and half. He would put the cream, this much milk and this much cream from the top of the milk, and that's what he would give the Prabhupada to drink at night. So Prabhupada understood. So he was saying, put the two together here in Mayapur. None of this nonsense, huh? Just like the nonsense. Us Westerners. Prabhupada went to the West. See, anyone. Krishna's for everyone. This is Lord Chaitanya's mercy. So he was like that everywhere. For everyone. So even with the cows, he was the same way. He was ready to actually bring cows from the West. I think we're already at after 8 o'clock. What's our schedule? Anyway, I think it's getting late, right? If there's any questions, do I have time for a question or two?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. We have time for a few questions. Anyone has a question? Seven Up story. Okay. That's 2 nights in a row. I guess I don't have a choice. I guess. All right. That'll be one question then. So this was in about July 1973. And Prabhupada's traveling from India to New York City. On the airplane, of course, a big plane. Prabhupada always sitting at the window seat. I'm next to him. And a few hours after the flight, the stewardess is rolling the cart. And on the cart are just plastic cups filled with, some had water, some had 7-Up, and some had Coca-Cola. So she's going down with the cart. And of course, she stops in front of us. And Prabhupada, very observant, and he's looking, what is that? And she's offering drink. I said, well, Prabhupada is 7-Up. And he goes, okay. He says, okay to me. He doesn't talk to the stewardess. One thing I always noticed with Prabhupada when he traveled, everything went through the via media, his translator, the person that understood. So he didn't talk to the ladies in that way. So he would just tell me, yes, okay. So then, of course, I look, I say, 3 7-Ups, because whatever Prabhupada does, none of us, we never took anything from outside. No juices, no sodas, no breads. Everything was all Maya. But he said, we have 7-Up. So I put the table down for Prabhupada. We all have our tables down, and there's this clear plastic cup with the 7-Up and a few ice cubes. And you can literally see the bubbles bursting and it going up. And so we're all just watching Prabhupada in amazement. He's about to drink a soda. And he grabs it. And when he grabs his, we do the same thing. You don't drink before but as soon as he drinks, it's Mahaprasadam, everything Mahaprasad. So he grabs and he, said, this is very good. He looks at me, this is very good. And we're just watching him. It's just in ecstasy. He keeps taking a sip and the bubbles are hitting his nose. And he said, very nice. Very refreshing. It was like a 7-Up commercial he was doing on the plane. So we finished our cups of 7-Up. So then 3-4 hours later on the airplane, now they're, going down with the cart. Now they have the cans, the whole cans and everything. They're coming down and stops in front of us. Would you like something to drink? Prabhupada looks at me, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, he said. So I said, well, I'll have 7-Ups. So now we each have a can of 7-Up, and we have the glass, empty glass, and I open the thing and pour it in. And Prabhupada grabs the can. He starts looking at it, and he goes, carbonated water, sugar, lemon lime. He says, it's all natural. He said, it's very good. And again, he's drinking his 7-Up and enjoying his 7-Up. And of course, this is the first soda I had since I went into a temple, so it was very wonderful. So then we get to New York City, Brooklyn, Henry Street Temple. It was 1973, and it's July, very hot, humid, kind of like this time of year here. Even hotter it was. Prabhupada has a whole flat, whole apartment right across from the temple room. So we get there and bring everything into Prabhupada's room. Kirtiraj comes up to me, says, does Prabhupada need anything? And for the first time, usually when they would say, does Prabhupada need any, I could never think of anything he needed. He didn't. He was completely happy all the time. I couldn't think of anything, but now I guess I have my own interest. So when he said, does Prabhupada need anything? I said, oh yeah, you can get 7-Up. And he looked at me, he said, 7-Up? I said, yeah, just buy a 6-pack of 7-Up. So then he got a 6-pack of 7-Up. And there was a little fridge in the kitchen, little kitchenette area in that tiny fridge. So I literally put it in the refrigerator so nobody would see 7-Up was in the refrigerator. But I didn't know what to do, how to approach Prabhupada, see if he wanted one. So then one evening came. Prabhupada's in his sitting room, and he's speaking to one of his temple presidents from a different area, from Florida. And I'm in the kitchen, and this devotee comes out of Prabhupada's room. It's about 8 o'clock at night. And he comes to me. He said, Prabhupada needs water. And he's standing there. He said, give me his glass with water. And I said, no, that's my service. I'm servant. So he went back into the room. So then I had opened the can of 7-Up, and I pour it into his goblet, and I have it on the tray. And I'm coming, and I come to the door. The door's closed. Prabhupada never had his door closed. He said, we have no secrets, he would say. We have no secrets. Imagine to be on that level, no secrets. But that's what he wanted. So I get to Prabhupada's door, and again, the devotee opens the door, and he's trying to grab the tray from me. Now I know I can't just give him the tray, you know. I said, I got it. And he's like, He was older than me, much more advanced. So I go into the room, put it on the table, I offer a basin, says, Prabhupada's looking. He says, what is that? I said, oh, it's 7-Up, Prabhupada. He said, oh, okay. And he's sitting there, and he grabs the cup, and this devotee, he can't believe it. Prabhupada's got a 7-Up in his, and he says, very refreshing. And then Prabhupada gets up, and he's standing up, and he grabs the cup, and he just stands there for the next few minutes drinking his 7-Up. And we're just sitting there, and I'm just very, very happy. And then he finished it. So I took it, I said, would you like any more, Prabhupada? He said, no, that's enough. So then I left the room. So then the next morning comes, after class, after breakfast, Bali Murdan, the GBC, we were looking for a new temple. It was already, they had outgrown Brooklyn, Henry Street Temple, so they're looking for a new temple. And he said, Prabhupada, I want you to see this place we could possibly buy as a temple. And Prabhupada said, yes, yes. So we went, it was 1970, it was this little Japanese car, very small, Kirtiraj, driver, Srila Prabhupada and I in the back seats. No air conditioning, and it's hot. And he drove into Manhattan. And he pulls across the street from this beautiful cathedral, Catholic cathedral built back in, the 1880s or something. This huge place, church. And he parks across the street from it. And we all get out and we're on the sidewalk. And Prabhupada's ready to go in. And Bhakti said, "Oh, Prabhupada, no, they don't know. We're devotees," he said, in the process of buying, so we don't. He said, "But I wanted you to see it." And Prabhupada could see through the front doors of the church. If you've ever seen churches in America, very big, like this size, even bigger sometimes, all the pews, seats, and Prabhupada could look into there, and he said, "We'll call this Gauranga Hall." So Prabhupada was ready. And then that was it. So we're standing on this little street corner, and Prabhupada looks, and there was a corner store. They have in New York, they have all these little grocery stores all over the place. Every few blocks they had back then. So Prabhupada sees, of course he knows New York, he lived there, he knew everything there. He sees the store. And he looks at me. He said, "Do they have 7 o'clock?" I said, "Yes, Prabhupada." So I said, Kirtiraj, I said, "Prabhupada wants a 7-Up." Huh? I said, "Prabhupada wants buy a 7-Up." And we're standing outside. It's like 11 in the morning. Prabhupada in his beautiful saffron, he's got his cane. So he goes in the store. He comes with 1 can of 7-Up. Not 3 cans, 4 cans, 1 can for Prabhupada. We were also trained like that, not to waste money, not even 20 cents. So he comes out with the 1 can, and I take it, I open it up, and I hand it to Prabhupada. And he's standing there on this corner, and he gets the 7-Up in the can, and he's... He drinks about half the can, and then we all get into the car. And Kirtiraj, the driver, in the front, Prabhupada and I in the back. And Prabhupada still has the can. And he hands it to me. And as soon as he hands it to me, 4 hands are going into the back seat. We're all fighting for what is ever left of Prabhupada's soda. So we shared it. So that was New York. Then from New York, Prabhupada flew to Los Angeles a few days later. As soon as he got to Los Angeles, he goes into his room. Karundar, a big GBC devotee in LA. Srila Prabhupada, all the grahastas, they all have 7-Up in their refrigerators. Everyone knew. We didn't need internet. We didn't need anything. We knew, not even by phone, I don't know, but whatever happened, everybody knew within a few hours in ISKCON what's going on, and what Prabhupada said, what Prabhupada did. So he's saying they're all drinking 7-Up because they heard Prabhupada had a 7-Up. And Prabhupada said, he said, "That's not good." He said, "I take a little for digestion sometimes." He said, "But it's not good that they should do that," he said. But it became a fashion on the plane, just like when we would take the prasadam sometime. When you were on the plane, 7-Up was okay. In fact, on the plane, when they would come down, Prabhupada would say, "All the devotees can have 7-Up." So Prabhupada would treat everybody to a 7-Up on the plane. So we always look forward to getting on the plane just to have a 7-Up. So that was over the years. And the last time was 1977. Now this is September 1977. So Prabhupada's already been lying in the bed, not eating for months. Just his body was literally skin and bones. But that's when he decided to go to England. He was going to go to London and preach. So the plane went from Delhi to Dubai, and then it would go on to London. So on that plane was Abhiram, Guru Kripa was there. I wasn't there at that time. Actually, I was in Vrindavan, but I didn't get to go on that trip to London. When Prabhupada decided to go to London, I remember Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he was so upset because no one had proper paperwork, visas or what it was to go. And Prabhupada said, that's okay, Shruta Kirti's here, he'll come. You should have seen their faces. The idea that I go, and I felt so happy that Prabhupada just said that. So anyway, they take the flight, and the devotees, they all had 4 seats across, but they literally sat on the floor by the door so Prabhupada could lie down. Had his glasses, the dark glasses on. And so then the plane stops in Dubai, and of course it stops, people are getting off, people are getting on. So Guru Kripa, he went over to Srila Prabhupada and had to help him sit up. And Guru Kripa was so, well, everyone, we were horrified what was going on. And Guru Kripa said, and looked at Prabhupada, and he could see, and it's like, you know, jewels coming out of his mouth, and had no strength. And he felt so bad. He looked at Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada, can I do anything? Can I get you anything? And Prabhupada smiled. He said, you can get me a 7-Up. You never understand the pure devotee, huh? Prabhupada was already, he was, Abhiram tells some amazing stories in those days about Srila Prabhupada. But anyway, I guess we need to stop here. Maybe tomorrow we can continue. Tomorrow's a very big day here. I'm very, very happy Radhanath Maharaj has come today. And I think you give class tomorrow morning. I think if we're that fortunate, we'll hear tomorrow morning. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhu ki, the Prabhupada Memorial Festival ki. So we are very grateful to His Grace Srila Prabhu. Request devotees to please be seated for a few minutes. So as Prabhuji mentioned, tomorrow is a very big day. So it's due to many occasions. Tomorrow is the day when Srila Prabhupada first placed his lotus feet on the foreign land on 17th September 1965. Because of that day, that event, we all are here in this room and receiving the mercy of so many wonderful Vaishnavas. And also, tomorrow is the 79th appearance, Vyas Puja of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj ki. So, and also from tomorrow, the World Holy Name Week is also beginning. World Holy Name Festival ki. So it's a very wonderful opportunity. And Srila Prabhupada went to West to deliver the best by taking Srimad Bhagavatam with him. So that's a great opportunity. Her Grace Devi Shakti Mataji already wonderfully spoke. What is the importance of Srimad Bhagavatam? That when we distribute books, we are like gopis who are bringing Krishna, who are bringing souls to Krishna, and we are in Chaitanya Leela. So you can be in both Leela, Krishna Leela and Chaitanya Leela, just by distributing Srimad Bhagavatam. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki. So already some devotees have come forward and they have committed for distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam in schools and colleges. I would like to announce their names and also request other devotees to avail this great opportunity. His Grace Radha Krishna Chandra Prabhu from Hyderabad has sponsored 10 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. His Grace Pushkarash, Her Grace Radharani Mataji from Ujjain, 5 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. His Grace Pushkarash Prabhu from London, 2 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. And Bhakta Somesh Rathi Prabhu, Bhakta Nayan Prabhu, Bhakta Madhusudan Prabhu, and Avinav Jain Prabhu has sponsored 1 Srimad Bhagavatam set each. So we request all devotees to not miss this wonderful chance, and they can give their names to His Grace Sundar Damodar Prabhu, and on 18 September at 1 p.m. we will have this opportunity on the wonderful occasion of Bhadra Purnima in the association of so many wonderful devotees. They can receive the Bhagavatam from the lotus hand of those devotees. Somebody can say, I have given it to everyone, or then you can sponsor and we can distribute. There are many students here, as Mataji told, Devi Shakti Mataji, you don't have to go outside, you can come and stay with us. So for staying, they need inspiration. ISKCON temples are ready. So for giving inspiration, you can all help, and you can distribute Srimad Bhagavatam sets in schools, colleges, everywhere. So with this request, we end today's. So, Hare Krishna. We give our thanks to all the wonderful devotees who are blessing us with their association. Let us express our gratitude by one time chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada Memorial Festival ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nand Koti Gaur Bhaktavrind ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतकों श्रीमद् सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर की, सच्चिदानंद भक्तिवेदांत ठाकुर की, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्रील प्रभुपाद मेमोरियल फेस्टिवल की, समवेत गौर भक्तवृंदों की, गौर गोविंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri